Let's go.
Let's rock.
Jimmy Juice Podcast, man.
Let's go, let's go.
Figgy, best in the world, that's what he do, know what I'm talking about. Ryan Rockett, born and raised in the H-Town, Houston, Texas. Know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Let's go, in the jacuzzi, smoking threats, I got my feet up, cut them haters off, I told them beat it, I don't need you, spend 50 racks in cash, but it's all good, I got my visa, this rolling got them staring at me like the Mona Lisa, my ghetto, Nikeisha, I beat it like a creature, she always like my sneakers, these Jordan 5 pink aces, let's go, I'm knocking them down, baby, back in the row, he beat it with one,
But they already know.
so all of my chains go put on the show.
Giving up gins, sipping my juice. Counting the beans, addicted to ends. I need to back in on whatever I do. We get it in on the daily. I get it rocking like this with the 80. We really 10-toe down on the pavement. What's up? We about to see what they saying.
Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. Let's go. Gym, vippin' juice. Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. Rockin' gym, vippin' juice. So let's go.
What do you have to say to everyone if we still consider the Astros cheaters?
I caught a plane out to Cleveland late last evening.
We some family men. We getting it paper.
One more thing. Press it. One more thing. Press it. The brick going up.
That's not how the game is played. You can't do that.
Best drop game in the game still, man. We back at it. Back in full effect. Welcome back, everybody, to the Gyms and Juice podcast, man. We're back at it. Took a week off, had some things to do, me and Figgy Fig. Well, Figgy Fig was on the grind. I was just chilling. We both ended up at the Astros game.
Same damn place.
But Figgy was getting that money. He was being smart. I was just hanging out with my dad for a Father's Day little weekend thing. So
hey, you got that money, so
I didn't pay for shit, man. That was a hookup, man. That was a hookup. I didn't pay for shit. We got a nice little access to a suite in the for the Astros at Dyken Park. I'm never gonna get used to that, man. It's always gonna be Minute Maid to me.
Yeah.
But Dyken Park, we went to see the Astros and the Twins. It was pretty. I mean, if you're an Astros fan, it was a great game.
Yeah.
It was over by like the 5th inning, man.
Yeah.
It was good to see Carlos Correa lose too. He can't be winning up in his stadium again. So, but yeah, it was a fun game, man. Exciting stuff. But we are back at it, back in full effect. A lot to break down, a lot to talk about. And to head off, I guess we can start because I just remember we didn't talk about this because it happened last week and we didn't do the podcast. We didn't talk about Nick Chubb joining the Texans.
That's right.
So let's break that down first, man. Let's. Like I said, I'm not tapped in like I used to be. I know you guys have been chopping it up about it. What's up, Tab? See you in the comments, man.
What's up, man?
Hope you're doing well on this Juneteenth weekend. Speaking of which, did you work or not, man? I have a problem if you worked.
I was off.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I was working around here, man. We was cleaning up and all that shit.
Oh, word?
I was outside. I got a trimmer, so I was cutting the grass out there. It felt like I was honoring Juneteenth. I was over there with the trimmer, like
waiting like a slave, man. Damn.
My wife came out with my little cup of water. I'm like,
that's a damn shame, man.
I'm ready, thirsty.
I sure thank you kindly. Oh man, that's a damn shame, man. Sweating like a slave on Juneteenth. Can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, man, I still feel a certain type of way about this being a national holiday.
Really?
Yeah, because this was for my entire life. This was like a Texas thing, Juneteenth.
Yeah.
In Houston, we always had parades, but nobody else that I knew about Juneteenth or celebrated or did anything. But after 2020 and a George Floyd situation, suddenly this became like our reparation somehow or something. I don't know. Like, sorry, black folks, here's a day y'all already celebrate down south. Let's make it nationwide. I don't know how I feel about that yet, man. I kind of feel like something Southern or specifically Texan was made mainstream. I don't know if I like it.
Yeah, even outside of that, man, because I think with the day off thing, it's a little like I'm fine with it now, but early on, like this, remember this happened in 2020, and just seeing some of the white people that wasn't down for the cause. And they're like, well, I got the day off. That rubbed me the wrong way. I was just like, man, come on now. Happy Juneteenth, I'm off. Oh my God, man.
Yeah, man. That's why I'm like, people who argue for reparations, I'm like, that's never gonna work because y'all know they gonna game the system to give reparations to everybody. Yeah. And so it ain't like they're gonna give it to only black people, because how can you prove you're black? And that's a whole nother can of worms you don't even want to open up.
Yeah.
Tab said it turned into the woke holiday. That's kind of how they're portraying it, man. They're portraying it as like the woke holiday, like it's something I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just something that they threw us a bone and made a holiday.
Yeah,
and like it was more natural and organic for us at first.
Yeah, and on top of that, you still had some white people that for some reason gotta defend other stuff because people celebrating Juneteenth. It's just like, dog, like this ain't nothing to argue about. Like we ain't got to argue about this. I've seen some comments talk about like, these same people better not be celebrating 4th of July. It's just like, when did this become a competition?
Like, what?
It's just like, man, like, why are we sitting here arguing about this?
It is funny how people seem to be mad about having a day off. Like, I know America has to be one of the laziest major countries in the world generally, and how y'all mad about having the day off? All right, motherfucker, it's just insane to me.
Yeah,
saying how people Trump tweeting that we have too many days off and all this shit. Why do you tweet that on Columbus Day or whatever the fuck they call it now, man? Indigenous Peoples Day, I think it used to be, or something. I don't know, but it's getting silly, man. I don't know why people are getting upset about it, but I'm just upset that something that was Southern is kind of, it's kind of like when your favorite band goes mainstream or your favorite rapper goes mainstream. It feels different now.
Yeah. Is this like UGK being on Jay-Z song?
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of like everybody acting like they down with Pimp C after he died.
Yeah.
Oh, Pimp C, my favorite rapper. Oh, really, man? How many Pimp C songs you listened to before Big Pimpin'? Did you know who he was? Man, kills me. But anyway, I digress, man. We're talking about the Texans, talking about some moves that were made the past couple of weeks, and Nick Chubb joining the running back ranks, joining Joe Mixon in them. Hopefully he can bolster that running game. But Big, what is your take on this, man? Because I've heard conflicting things. I've heard he was washed last year, but I also heard he came back from injury. I'm hoping it's a situation like Joe Mixon where he can come back and show that, hey, he's not actually washed. He was just in a bad situation. Yeah. What's your take on this, man? You think it's a good ad for the team?
Yeah, I think it's a great ad for the team, because I think this is because the thing is, you got to remember, they didn't trade for him. They signed him for a smaller deal. So this is literally the definition of kicking the tires on somebody. So, they won't lose anything out if he's not good. If he's not good, they probably just cut him and that's it. But I think the upside is worth the kick on the tires, man, because he wasn't good last year. I think part of it was injury, just get back from that injury, and then the other part was the Browns were so bad, the offensive line was so bad, and I don't think that was it for him, man. It was a major injury 2 years ago, but I think it's worth trying, man. I think it's worth trying. You're not really asking for a lot from him, but I think if you could get, I don't even think you got to get like a Pro Bowl type Nick Chubb. If you could get a decent Nick Chubb to be a running back number 2, I think that's a win right there, man, because Dameon Pierce really wasn't doing nothing last year. They didn't really have a solid number 2 running back. So if he could just be somebody that could get you a good 500 yards or something like that, maybe a little more. I don't know. I ain't trying to be greedy, but no, that's a good signing there, man. And I think the good thing about this is it's a possibility you could get a good you could get the old Nick Chubb where he is good. He might not be all pro. I think he was all pro one time, but he might not be all pro year, but he might be a damn good running back, man. So I think it is a good signing. If it don't work out, it's not like you traded some draft picks or signed them for a lot of money or anything like that. So I think it's good because I feel like at one point they didn't do stuff like that. I feel like at one point they would have passed up on him and signed a Royce Freeman. Somebody that ain't gonna be that good, but they just putting a body there. So for the simple fact that they took a flyer on him, man, I like that.
Yeah, this Texans front office is a lot more aggressive in general. Even stuff like Stephon Diggs, I wouldn't imagine the old Texans even taking a chance on somebody like that back in the day. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's potential to be great. But worst comes to worst, we still got Joe Mixon back there. So I think the run game will be strong regardless. Now what I want to see next is some wide receiver get signed. Like, I don't know what's going on here anymore. We done lost Tank, Stephon gone. I would like to see somebody for CJ to throw to besides Nico Collins, but I'm assuming they're working on that. So we'll see.
Yeah, they got a lot of young receivers, man. And that's a lot of pressure. You got Nico Collins, and then you got Christian Kirk. I think he's gonna be pretty solid, but I'm not sure if he's I'm not sure outside of that. I don't know if he's gonna be that big of a difference. I think he'll be pretty solid though. But then after that, man, you got 2 rookies you drafted, and then a bunch of other people that's I'm not sure what they're gonna get you. So yeah, it's gonna be a big step. And you mentioned something too about the front office being real aggressive. They signed a guy that that would not have been signed if Bob Manere was alive and running this team. It's a guy by the name of Damon Arnett, who I think he's been out the league a couple years now. He had a gun. He got caught with a bunch of guns and all that stuff. Played for the Raiders, and he was recently playing for the Roughnecks. And I guess he had a pretty good time at the Roughnecks. The Houston Texans came in and gave him a workout and eventually signed him. So look, it's funny because I think John McClain, who used to work for the Chronicle, tweeted about it. And I guess he was kind of upset with the tweet. Not the tweet, but he was upset with the signing because it's looking like the Texans don't have any morals. And I'm like, man, this came a long way because I never thought I would see anything like that. Because it was, they were always known for, signing the goody two shoes or the choir boys and stuff like that. But for the simple fact, you even taking the flyer on him, which is not a lot of money, but you just kind of bring him in, see what he could do. That's crazy.
Here's the thing. I think this current regime of the Houston Texans is more Christ-like than before. They are more Christian than before because what they're doing is what Jesus did. Okay? He didn't just take the well-behaved people. He went to the poor, the destitute, the thugs, everybody. He tried to save everybody, man. And that's what they're doing here. They're taking all the undesirable NFL players under the cloth and they're reforming them, okay? They're going to learn under the sermon of the great D'Amico Ryans. They will be reformed and turned into God-fearing family men, like Pimp C said.
Yeah.
Family men getting paper.
We some family men getting paper.
I think that's what they're doing, man. I think they see themselves as a team that can turn players around and show them the light.
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, at this point, I think the fact that some of their players already have reputations of being dirty players to begin with, and the fact that whole Deshaun Watson, who we all thought was a saint at first, and we saw what he was doing at this point, I don't blame the team for being like, fuck it. Well, what we did before didn't work. So might as well mix it up. We have good leadership. We know people play the right way and play well for this team. I've never heard of anybody in the D'Amico Ryans era having an attitude problem or locker room drama.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they have good leadership. I think everybody believes in CJ. And because of that, I'm not worried about anybody coming in and disrupting the locker room.
Yeah, I think that's the key. What you just said, I think that's the key right there. Because like even with these signings, man, it wasn't like they was bringing in Antonio Brown, where it was going to be a circus regardless of what he do.
Yeah.
And he was only a ticket time bomb where something was going to happen. It was going to blow up everything. So it wasn't even like bringing in somebody like that. This is somebody that's probably not expected to start. Or the guy, Damon Arnett, not expected to start. He'd probably be the third corner, fighting to be the third cornerback. But ain't no guarantee he's going to get some playing time or even make the team. So, I mean, I like that type of stuff. It'd be one thing, it's not like bringing in Deshaun Watson to be the quarterback or bringing in, just putting a spotlight on you. So, I think they're doing it right, man. I'm totally fine with this.
Yeah, me too. The team is really aggressively trying to win, and I can't knock that. I'm always for the swing for the fences, and if it doesn't work out, so be it. But at least they tried, man. We only got CJ on this rookie deal for so long. Speaking of which, we got to update our CJ watch because the narrative has been destroyed. All the so-called rumors and innuendo have gone out the window. The poet didn't know it because CJ is now back throwing.
Yeah,
he's throwing again. He said, I think he made it a point to want to throw and practice recently. He's been throwing. Arm looks fine. I did hear he was getting picked off a bit, but hopefully that just means the defense is really good.
Yeah.
But crisis averted. It looks like CJ is back and throwing and he's okay. So, yeah, just want to update that real quick.
Yeah, nothing to see here.
Just drama as usual, man. I was going to say something else. I forgot. Oh, yeah. Let's go to some NBA news real quick since we're still on the local tip. How do you feel about the talks about Kevin Durant potentially coming to either San Antonio, I've heard Miami, or Houston being his top three, really his only picks that he would like to leave to go after Phoenix? Because I'm assuming it's going to be his last year. He's going to be gone from Phoenix, and he wants to go apparently either to Miami, San Antonio, or Houston. I think we've talked about this before, but now that it's seriously a possibility and it could happen, what do you think the Houston Rockets' chances are, and do you think they should go ahead and try to scoop them up?
Yeah, I think they should try to scoop them up. Their chances, I've been kind of keeping an eye on this, and I guess rumor has it that the Suns want they want some other young players too, because I think they threw in Jalen Green, the number 10 overall pick, and I think it might have been somebody else too, but I guess rumor has it that the Suns want Atari Eason, or they want somebody else. I forgot who the other person they wanted, but
it's not Sagoon, right?
No, it's not Sagoon. No,
do it.
I think the issue, I gotta see who they would. I guess the Suns was trying to get. But I think the Rockets don't want to give all of that up, which I feel like they might be playing hardball a little bit too, because I mean Phoenix ain't really got the leverage like that because they gotta trade him because he don't want to be there. He on his last year and he gotta go somewhere. And I think a lot of teams are lowballing him because of that. But yeah, I to me, I would do it. I would definitely do it, man, because I think you need somebody like that. They were the second seed, and I just think if they come up with KD and he's the KD a good, I think that make a big difference, man, because they needed somebody that could score. I think they probably need to improve in some other places too, but they didn't really have a super consistent scorer. I thought Jalen Green was good, but he wasn't really consistent to me. And I think that make a big difference, man.
Yeah. TJ on X or Twitter says Suns losing leverage by the day. I'm glad Rockets holding because KD might come here and retire on us. Not about to give up young talent. The draft damn near here. They need to make a choice soon. Look, do you want KD on the Spurs? Like with Victor Wembanyama? Wemby. I forget how to pronounce his whole last name, but do you want Wemby and KD on the same team in a Texas city that's not Houston? I don't know, man. I feel like the organization is like for some reason married to Jalen Green and they don't want to let him go. they defend him and they really seem to like this guy. And even though the fan base, even some of the strongest fans, even though I've seen some of them kind of back up a bit now since it's been a while since they've been eliminated. But it seems like they really don't want to give up Jalen Green. But I'm like, go for it at this point. As long as look, if they're not talking about Amen or Segun in the trade, who else is untradeable on this Rockets team? Let's be real.
Yeah. I agree with you. But I feel like, to me, it's not about the players they giving up. Like, I feel like this is more of a, how you trying to get over on somebody? Somebody got to give whatever item they got to give up.
Yeah.
And you're like, I ain't about to give up all of my baseball cards, and you got to get this up anyway. So I'm a lowball you as much as I can. And I think the Rockets are not alone in this. I think the Spurs are in the same boat. They not trying to give up a lot either, because dog, like, as much as we talk about Kevin Durant, how good he is 37. Like, it could, I don't think it's gonna be a bad drop off or anything like that, but you never know. And why do I got to give up the 10th overall pick and like 2 or 3 young players? Like, nah, man, like, come up off, like, it's over. Y'all experiment failed. And you probably should have traded him last year, but y'all ran it back. So I think they playing hardball a little bit, try to get them for the LO.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, the Suns have to get something for a player of KD's caliber. You can't just give that up for free. I mean, it's not like he's completely washed. He's still playing well. I'm a little concerned about his age and injury issues, but when he's healthy, he's still very good, man. And he's the kind of closer that the Rockets could definitely use right now.
But see, the thing is, if let's say they don't have an offer, they don't like. He got 1 year left on this deal, man, because you damn near close to losing him for nothing.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of part of the game too. I know he's worth way more than that, but I think it's more of a mind game, man. If he had like 2 or 3 years left on the deal, then that's a whole different thing. They could probably get way more for him. But for the simple fact he got one year left on his deal and he won out anyway, I think teams are kind of throwing their hands up a little bit, like, hey, we ain't got it like that. We got one player, 1 draft pick, maybe 2. So I think Phoenix, they kind of in a bad situation, to be honest, man. Like,
yeah, it kind of feels like what the Rockets went through with James Harden.
yeah.
Man, went up on stage and quit on the team in a press conference.
Yeah.
So yeah, I trust me. I remember how this feels, and it sucks.
Yeah, nah, it do suck, especially because they ain't do nothing. They ain't that big three they had ain't do a damn thing. That might have been the worst big three of all time or super team of all time.
Yep. So I remember how it feels. So we'll see, man. I at first I was against KD on the Rockets, but now I'm starting to warm up to the idea. Like I said, as long as they don't give up the untradables as Amin and Segun, if they're not involved, I would say, man, do what you got to do at this point. We can build around KD. Hopefully, Ime Udoka can cook up something with him, and I don't know. Maybe we'll see something more than a first round exit, even though you're the third overall seed in the West. So I don't know. Well, we'll see what they do. Dragon Spitfire on Twitter says, fellas, I'm all cut up on the podcast. Welcome back. Thank you, man. Glad to be back. Good to see you as well, bro.
Hey, appreciate you going back and catching up on it.
Yeah, going through the archive. We do appreciate that.
Yeah, because me personally, I would not do that. I would be like, man, I don't want to listen to that old news.
Yeah, don't say that. We do encourage people to check out the archives, man. I go through pains uploading because sometimes I don't know if people listen to the podcast or not, or just watch us on streaming. But I do upload the podcast. You give me the audio, and I want to make sure people, if they're out and about, can listen to the podcast whenever, man. Yeah. Some of our topics are timeless, okay? We'll just talk about current events.
Yeah, that's true. I'm probably talking about other podcasts where I'm like, man, I ain't about to go back. Listen, let me go back. Let me go to now.
Yeah, no. When I listen to Joe Budden podcast, I'm not gonna. If I miss one a week, I'm not gonna go back and listen to it in general.
Yeah. You know the worst thing about listening to an old podcast is when they breaking down something that happened in real time.
Yeah.
Then it's like a week or two later, and they are all off and wrong. It's just like, man, I think they was talking about, I think it was the Knicks series or something like that. And they were just like, yeah, I think this is gonna be in 5 games, and just the way everything said. I'm like, man, dog, they damn near about to lose this series in 5 games. And I was just like, man, I don't want to hear this shit, man. Like, y'all sitting here making this argument and y'all are all wrong.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad we don't spend a whole lot of time talking about sports, at least current event sports and stuff because it's very hard to listen to an old sports podcast, even one that's a couple, because sometimes we'll be talking about a game that's going on while we're recording.
Yeah.
And I'll be listening back when we upload it. I'm like, man, this is already outdated. So it's kind of messed up, and that's why on this podcast we tend to talk about things that have a little bit more of a shelf life than just Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
who's gonna win? And then by the time you listen, you might already know the winner.
Yeah,
so, yeah, that it's very hard to listen to some political or sports podcasts in general because it ages horribly usually.
Yes.
TJ says Suns apparently don't want Jalen. Well, I can't really blame them. I mean, we all saw that series, man. He had one good game, and then he was Swayze, as New York rap used to say.
Yeah,
he was Patrick Swayze.
He was Ghost.
Yep. Jalen and the 10th pick, the Suns don't like it because they don't value Jalen. Well, look, that's all we need. Some of y'all Jalen Green strongest soldiers need to pump them up, okay? Put out them highlights that y'all was spamming us with the whole season and try to boost his value up a little bit. What happened to that? Bring his stand base back.
Hey, put the side by side of him and Kobe up.
Yeah.
That might win the Suns over.
Yeah, we need y'all and the fan base to pump up your boy, okay? Just like y'all still pump up James Harden, even though he don't play for us no more.
Yeah.
Dragon Spitfire said, y'all come back all black Aristotle Wait, what? Socrates dropping signs from hip hop to hoochies to breaking down the government. State of the Union. What other podcasts go that deep? Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate I don't know if we go that deep. Hip hop to hoochies. Hoochies.
Oh, you old school.
That is, dog. When's the last time you heard somebody say hoochie mama? Two Live Crew?
My mother. She probably say Jezebels. Them Jezebels.
My cousin used to call, it's not hoochies, but my cousin used to call fucked up old cars hoopties.
Oh yeah.
He was the only one that did that.
Really?
That was mad funny. Hoopties. Nobody says hoopty no more, dog. I don't know what we call old cars, but we used to say hoopty.
Yeah, I haven't called it a hoopty in a minute, unless it's like a real hoopty or some shit.
Yeah. Jalopy was one too. You used jalopy.
Really, I never used
heard that.
I used to say bucket.
Bucket, yeah. People still say bucket, I think.
Yeah.
TJ says Friday afternoon catching y'all live is the best. We appreciate that, man. We're glad y'all here catching it with us.
Feel free to share it too, man.
Hell yeah.
Tap in. I gotta do a better job at that, man.
Me too, man.
I was looking at everybody else's like their YouTube page and all that shit. They all over 1,000 and all this other stuff. I'm like, dang, we've been doing this way too long to be stuck in the hundreds. We got to get that shit up, man.
Yeah, it's hard for me to do self promo, man, because sometimes I get too overcritical and think of what some hater will say to what I'm saying or some shit, and I'm like, I don't really feel like dealing with them problems. Yeah, but I'm trying to get better at that. That's actually one of my New Year's resolutions, to try to get better at self promo, man, because nobody else is going to promote us and me and what we're doing. So it's got to be us, man. Yeah. It's got to be me doing my part too. So I'm actually trying to get better at that. So TJ said when Figgy moved to his new place, I was harassing him when the pod coming back, man. Yeah, I did. We both missed the pod, man. I think I missed it more than I thought I would, honestly. I thought after a while it'd be like, accepting things, kind of move on. But no, I did miss it. There was a lot of stuff that went down. I'm like, man, I want to know what Figgy think about this.
Yeah. Yeah, it was killing me because the reason we stopped the pod is because I was looking for a place and I couldn't keep up doing the pod consistently like that. But then when I got the place, I needed a computer. I had to do all that because I wasn't about to keep recording at the job, and it's a little further now. So once I told Rocky, I'm like, once I get this Mac, then it's over with, man. It's funny, I had everything set up except for the computer. I had everything. I had the monitors, I had all this shit. I did not have the actual computer.
I don't know how that's not the first thing you buy, man. How you buy a monitor before you buy a computer?
So I got the monitor. So I was buying this desk, and it came off of Facebook Marketplace, and it came with two pretty much TV screens for monitors.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, all right. So got that. He threw in some speakers and all this other stuff. So I'm like, cool. So I had that. I didn't even have like a real TV. I didn't even have this TV. And so I had the PS5 hooked up to this, just at the desk playing the game. And I'm like, man, I got to get a TV and a little couch or something, because this is uncomfortable sitting in a chair like this playing the game all day. Mm-hmm. But then, so I was getting everything, and I was just holding off on the Mac because I ain't want to, because Macs it ain't no cheap ass Mac out here.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive, man.
Yeah, so I ended up finding the Mac Mini for a good price. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me go on and get it, man. Stop pussyfooting around. Let me just go on and get it. And it's probably the best investment I'd have had, man, because this thing give you no problems. Everything is super clear. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that you were going to the studio every week to do the podcast, man. You were at the studio, and that's a big hassle because, you're already there most of the day. Then you're there, you have to stay late or go home, then come back. It's a big hassle. It's a lot better doing it from home and having a home studio. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then plus I got it set up how I want. Like, I got the soundproof panels, and I didn't have all that at the apartment.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna fix this up, make my own studio. That way I could record in here with no issue.
Oh yeah, man. Well, we're glad to be back and glad to be back on it. So we appreciate all y'all for checking us and missing the podcast too, man. That did mean a lot to us. The fact that people asked about it and missed it. So yeah, that definitely had a big part in us coming back as well. So appreciate y'all. On to new music. We have some more hip hop. TJ said, "Damn, that's crazy. You was at the studio, Fig." Oh, Def understand. Yeah, man, he was hustling.
Yeah.
Still is hustling.
And it wasn't that bad because I was like 10, 12 minutes away from the station. But now with traffic and all that stuff, it's probably like a good 30, 35 minutes.
Yep.
So I ain't about to keep going back and forth like that, man. That's why I'm cool with Rockett doing the podcast at his house, because you stay further than me.
Shit, man.
I can't imagine coming up there every Friday to do this.
I can't do it, dog. When I went to go pick up my dad for the Astros game, he lives in Katy. Usually it's like a 1 hour drive without bad traffic.
Yeah.
It took me 2 hours to get there, and I left at like 3.
Damn.
I didn't get there until like 5:30, man. And there was some crazy ass accidents on the freeway. The fucking whole I-10 East was just clogged up, and it was a bunch of crazy shit happening. So yeah, I can't look. It kind of sucks being in League City away from everything, but it's also very nice because I don't miss driving on the freeway in Houston during rush hour at all, man. That really is hell to deal with every day. So,
yeah,
I'm out here.
I think I'm getting to that point now where, you know, we ain't moving no time soon, but I'm kind of getting to that point where I'm like, dang, how would it feel to stay out in like Montgomery County? Just a big old house with a bunch of land where, you know, you ain't got to deal with this inner city traffic. Because Houston getting more crowded, man. And I think I seen something. I think my wife told me about some article saying by like 2032 that Houston will officially be like the 3rd largest city. It will overtake Chicago. And I'm like, man, just imagine, because like we always look at like New York City and LA as big cities. Just imagine us staying in a big city like that. And that's pretty much what Houston gonna be, because everybody just moving here.
Yeah, man, there was a big population boom at during the COVID time. A lot of people came from California and people working remote jobs. Also, Atlanta people, I think, have got the idea that, or some people in general just got the idea that Houston's like the next Atlanta, or it's up there. It's like the place to be if you're black. So now these niggas coming through, man.
Yeah.
And like y'all stay on that side, man.
Yeah, because it was Atlanta. I think now people getting hip to Houston. Houston is pretty much a vacation spot now.
Which I don't see how. Like, what are y'all doing out here?
I
know there's stuff to do here, but
they looking at places like, well, Turkey Leg Hut ain't open no more, but they looking at all these places like Camp Houston and the address and stuff like that. And like, hey, I'm going there to kick it. And it's funny. I think I've been here for so long now. You could tell people that's from out of town.
Yeah.
Like they dressed with half of their ass out. Where I'm like, you don't stay here because you wouldn't be walking around like that if you actually lived here and had a regular job. So you clearly from out of town. You just want to show your ass off. And then like you could just tell, just being in these spots, it's like, okay, they over here just twerking over a table. like y'all on vacation. I see what it is.
Yeah. Houston has somehow turned into that spot, man. I don't really know how.
Yeah.
We talked about DreamCon the other week about how all these influencers came for what used to be like a Texas thing, and now it somehow became like a nationwide thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got that reputation somehow, man. So I recommend everybody to move on out to the outskirts, man. Come out here to Kemah. Come out here to Katie, even though Katie's getting full too now, and it's getting kind of rowdy out there.
Yeah, Katie is really full.
Yeah. So yeah, move on to the outskirts, man. Leave that big city living behind.
Yeah.
Dragon Spitfire said Montgomery County booming too. TJ said you went to Katy, the absolute worst. What's so bad about Katy, man? My parents live in a nice Katy neighborhood. I know there's some spots that are rough out there, but when I was coming up, Katy was like the suburbs of the suburbs growing up.
Wait, is he talking about just you went there or actually went to school there?
I lived.
You ain't go to school in Katy. Did you go to school in Katy?
No, I didn't go to school in Katy. I was by the time we moved to Katy, I had just graduated high school.
Oh, okay.
But my niece and nephews who live with my parents go to school in Katy. But yeah, I didn't grow up in Katy, but you know, they've lived there for 15 years now, something like that, a long time. So yeah, anyway, I digress, man. We're getting off topic here. Let's stay on subject. New music, man. We got the drive to Katy. Yeah, it took 2 hours, man. It was fucking ridiculous. My bad. Anyway, back on subject, back on topic. New music, man. Malice and Pusha T, who some are calling Pusha TMZ again, because of a certain beef that just escalated out of nowhere at the end of this new song. They've got a new song, the Clipse, So Be It. Released a music video for it. I don't think it's on streaming yet as a single, but I'm assuming it will be soon. I believe the album comes out like next week or the week after. I can't remember, sometime in July, I believe. But the album's coming
July 11th or somewhere.
Yeah, I think I heard that. So yeah, I will say first and foremost, after hearing this, I think we can lay the worries about production to rest officially.
Yeah,
because I was admittedly worried that this is the first Clipse album without the Neptunes like Chad Hugo and Pharrell producing it. It's only Pharrell, and I didn't know how it was gonna sound, but based on these two songs, I don't think we have anything to worry about.
Yeah, I don't know what Pusha T be doing, but whenever he get around some producers or super producers who kind of been slipping a little bit, they like make the best shit for him. Because it was the same thing with Kanye.
Yeah,
like I feel like Kanye production throughout that whole release the album every week little thing, I feel like his no doubt was the best production. But I don't know what he do. I don't know if he stand behind you, be like, nah, I want this, or I don't know if he got a gun to their back, like, nah, make the beat better. And they make the best shit ever. Because Pharrell, like, I was kind of with you, and I'm a Pharrell fan. Like, I like Pharrell's production, but it haven't been the same in a long time, man. And this one sound like, damn, maybe he don't need Chad. it sound flawless, man.
Yeah, it sounds really good, man. The beat is crazy. And yeah, I think Pusha T actually is he has an underrated ear for beats. I think he is one of the few artists who really knows what his sound is, and you won't hear him rapping on something out of character.
Yeah,
in general, you know, even somebody like a Nas, who you think would know after even as early as Illmatic, you would think he would know what his sound was, but you a bunch of time through his career catch him rapping on shit that don't sound like something he should be rapping on. Same with Jay-Z, who I think is a GOAT. He done rapped on plenty of trash, Swiss Beats bullshit that should have never seen the light of day, and it sounds terrible. But him, he knows his lane and he sticks to it, and he knows what he sounds good over.
Yeah.
So I think that's the underrated aspect to him in general.
Yeah.
But as far as the song goes, I'm pretty sure we both think it's dope and it's fire. I think Malice killed it again as usual.
Yeah.
But what everybody's talking about is the at the end of the song, Pusha T went on what seemed like a diss directed at Travis Scott, which he then doubled and tripled down on in interviews after the song was released. Now I'm not too sure because I didn't keep up on this. What exactly is Pusha T's issue with Travis Scott?
It seemed like the issue, because I don't think he had a true issue at first, but he kind of started going back to when Drake and Kanye was going back and forth. And remember the Travis Scott song with Drake? What was the name of that song?
Utopia, not Utopia. Fucking Sicko Mode. Yeah.
Sicko Mode, yeah. It's Sicko Mode that was on Astro World, and we all know he's pretty much going at Kanye. And during that time, Pusha T was with Kanye. So I think he did mention how he kind of felt some type of way about that, and how, damn, this dude Travis just pretty much, lack of a better word, just kind of going around being fake. And then he explained pretty much in the interview how Travis Scott pretty much went into their session over in Paris at Louis Vuitton, which I think is kind of fly as hell. They sitting there in the studio inside of Louis Vuitton. And so he came in there and played the album for not Pusha T, but played it for Pharrell, and Clipse is in there recording this album and pretty much stopped the whole session. And I think at that point Pusha T was a little irritated. I think he was already irritated for the simple fact that he, let Drake hop on this song and diss Kanye. But now you in here stopping my studio session. And so I guess he played the whole album for the Utopia album, and he left off the song that was dissing Pusha T, the Drake song that was dissing Pusha T. So I guess he had a real problem with that. And a lot of people did try to hit Pusha T with a gotcha moment. Like, oh, Drake didn't record that song until 24 hours until the album came out. So they're trying to say he got his facts wrong and all that stuff. But if I was him, I would still kind of feel the same way. Like the song came out, like, dog, you was just there with us jumping around. It's funny. I wish I could find that quote, but he did quote and say, Travis Scott was jumping around like a fucking monkey. That's his words too. And yeah, I would feel some type of way too, man. That's kind of like if somebody bone rush our podcast or whatever, bragging about some stuff they got going on and then leave, and then when they release their product, it's somebody on there talking shit about us. It's just like kind of like, what the fuck? So yeah, so I like, people try to hit on with the gotcha moment, like, nah, like, you got your facts wrong, all that stuff. But I don't know. I think it's a solid stance. I just don't know about the, like, I don't know. We could get to a little later, but I didn't really understand the diss part in it. Like, what, because he mentioned he got something on video. And I'm just kind of like, what do you have on video? I always felt like that was a weird thing to throw in the diss song.
Yeah, I feel like this is him trying to replicate the infrared. It seemed like he's doing the bait thing again, where he wants to, like, he's talking about something that we don't really know about, and he's waiting for Travis Scott to say something. Then he's going to release it, just like he did with the infrared Drake diss, which Drake responded to, and then he unloaded the machine gun.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what he's talking about. He seemed to be referencing Kylie and at some point as well, and some shit. I don't know what they're talking about or what he's referring to, but I'm sure if Travis Scott does say something, he's got the clip ready and he's just gonna let it go. But this is not a beef I'm looking forward to, honestly, because Travis Scott is not a lyricist. I don't know why Bun B got up on a podcast acting like he was gonna say something.
Yeah,
like, oh, Travis Scott from Houston, you don't know, he gonna clap back.
I wish he didn't say that.
Yeah, I wish, number one, and this goes back to my issues with Travis Scott in general, because I always thought he was pretty corny. Jasmine used to fight me on this when you had the podcast together, because she used to love Travis. She don't like him anymore, I don't think. But she used to love Travis Scott. I always thought he was fake as hell. I thought his over love of Houston stuff was fake because I didn't see him claim that stuff early on. I didn't see, ask any Houston rapper. They didn't know who he was until he blew up.
Yeah.
They didn't see him performing at any shows or he just kind of came out of nowhere. It seems like he kind of attached himself to the Atlanta sound first and then came out and started going overboard with the Houston stuff. I do respect him for sampling Houston artists and paying them samples, like for Sicko Mode. I think a lot of SUC rappers got sampled on that and got paid for it.
Yeah.
But in general, I don't like the he from Houston. Where from Houston is Travis Scott from? Does anybody even know? I heard
he from
Mo City.
Yeah.
I heard the suburbs of Mo City. I don't know if we really call that Houston. He ain't from where Zero from. So I don't know if we really gonna claim him like that, but whatever. I'm not expecting Travis Scott to bar anybody up, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't see why people are getting hyped over this.
Yeah, I would not get hyped over this at all. I actually don't want it to happen. I'm like, man, Travis Scott, just keep making Sicko Modes, man. Just keep
straight
making
up.
Yeah,
you do the ad libs. It's lit.
Yeah, just keep at most, maybe he could just throw a couple bars in a popular song or something and keep it moving. I don't want him to release something, try to get in that ring and think he going against Pusha T. Out of all people, man. Like, dog, they're some of the best in the game. Like, Drake couldn't even beat Pusha T. So I damn sure know Travis Scott ain't got a chance. So I think Pusha T is way too calculated, man. I wouldn't even get in that ring.
And this is something I actually recently thought of too, because it's funny you bring up Drake. Do you think this is like an underhanded attempt to try to bait Drake again? Because we know that Drake is still close with Travis Scott. I think that's one of like his last remaining friends he's got in the industry is 21 Savage and Travis Scott. And I think Drake would definitely take up the mantle as the lyricist to go at Travis for Pusha T for dissing Travis Scott. And do you think maybe Pusha T is kind of hoping that'll happen so he can get a round 2 versus Drake or something?
Honestly, it's no telling, but for me, my personal opinion, I thought Pusha T was kind of over it. I feel like Pusha T had a few more chances to, throw more shots at Drake. Because hell, Pusha T been throwing shots ever since. But I feel like Pusha T low key moved on from it, where he's he liked the results that happened between him and Drake. So I feel like he fine to move on after that. Because I just feel like he would have threw way more shit at Drake at some point. But I think he I don't know him personally, obviously, but I feel like he might be fine where he is. Now, I do wonder because people was bringing this up, and maybe this was a lot of Drake stans and OVO people, but people are wondering why he's not addressing Jim Jones. Because remember, Jim Jones said something. I kind of got to go way back a little bit to how this even started. But Jim Jones pretty much said he don't really look at Clipse all that high like that, or Pusha T, because I think they had Pusha T high on the list, on the top rappers list, and he was kind of blowing off Pusha T a lot, like he wasn't really all that. And then I want to say Pusha T released that song. Remember that song he released in Paris? And you could tell he's taking the shot at Jim Jones in that one. And then I want to say right after that, Jim Jones released the diss song on that same track. Pretty much took his instrumental and released this song talking a bunch of shit about Clipse and Malice, and pretty much calling his brother a crackhead and all that shit. So since then, Pusha T never responded to it. So I'm wondering if he got something lined up for Jim Jones in this, because a lot of people looking at like, why people keep saying, why you going at Travis Scott? Jim Jones is right there. He's the one that's talking shit about you. And I wondered somewhere, we probably won't hear it until maybe closer towards the album, or maybe when the album drops, maybe there's something on there. But I wonder if he got some slugs at Jim Jones on this. I would be kind of shocked if he didn't say anything at all.
I wouldn't be, because I think Pusha T is somebody who only targets the bigger fish. I don't think he thinks people like Jim Jones are worth his time. And people can agree or disagree.
He did address him in the song, though.
Yeah, but ever since, here's the thing. Once Pusha T took on Drake, I think the level of entry to what kind of rapper you got to be to get a response out of him leveled up to a point where I don't think he's going to mention it, Jim Jones, especially because, you know, somebody like Jim Jones will never stop talking shit. So that could theoretically just go on forever.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody like a Travis Scott, and to be fair, this is kind of bullying for somebody like Travis Scott, because what do you really expect him to do? Even he admitted it. He's like, you know, Travis ain't going to do nothing. So, but also that's somebody who is going to make a headline if you address him, and because he's one of the top tier rappers of this era. Whereas Jim Jones, no matter what he says, I don't care if he says he's bigger than Nas or whatever the fuck you're talking about, he's known more of he's known for his stuff outside of music more than he is in music at this point, I think, in general. And he'll never stop talking shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't even get a few bars. You know, I would think he would get something, but if he doesn't, if Pusha T doesn't mention him at all, I wouldn't be too surprised, because it seems like he's just trying to get into it. This goes back to my theory. It's getting a little conspiratorial, but I feel like Pusha T feels a certain way about Kendrick being crowned the Drake killer. I think he is annoyed that Kendrick got that title. I think he is annoyed that Kendrick got the streams that I'm sure he thinks he deserved. I'm sure he regrets using that beat that couldn't get cleared. I'm sure he wishes he used some original shit that Pharrell cooked up and just waited instead of just putting it out there, because now he can't get any money off it. But I do feel like he feels a certain way about Kendrick being crowned the Drake killer and not him.
Yeah.
So I think he's taking shots at the big fish, and he wants to get the notoriety for that. I don't think Jim Jones warrants that for him, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think he got to give him a couple bars, man. I'm not saying you got to give him a whole Jim Jones diss song type thing, because I agree with you. I think he's past that, man. Like and look, I gotta give Jim Jones credit. I feel like he's a much better rapper now than he was.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I feel like he made really good music, but he's kind of, I don't want to compare him to like Rick Ross, but he's kind of that artist now where you make good music, but just people just don't really care at this point, man. It's like we could play Jim Jones his recent album now, and we like, man, this is some good music. It's good production, good lyrics, and all this other stuff, but it's just not really hitting like that, man. It's just, for some like, I don't have an answer to why people don't really care for it. I think he's kind of there now. I feel like if you're a Jim Jones fan, you're gonna rock with him. If not, you're not gonna rock. You're not gonna care. So I think he's kind of there, and I don't know. I'll be shocked. Me personally, I'll be shocked if he don't address anything Jim Jones at all, because I'm like, damn, he wanted to spar. And like I said, I'm not saying you got to go back and forth on some Joey Badass and TDE type shit, but somebody like Pusha T, man, I feel like he's the type of guy that will address you when he feel like it. And I think it's a reason why he didn't go right back at Jim Jones when Jim Jones did this. So that's why I'm like, maybe I expect a couple bars or maybe a verse. Maybe at most, it could be just a generic Coke song. And maybe the last verse, he kind of get into his, old rapper niggas thinking they young niggas, or kind of get into that bad type shit. So I wonder if he gonna do that. But I wouldn't be disappointed, but I'd be shocked if he didn't address anything with Jim Jones.
The problem with if Pusha T does say that is that the same day Jim Jones gonna drop like 2 diss tracks, then the next day he gonna do 2 podcasts, and he'll do a bunch of Instagram reels about it. Yeah, like he's that dude that just won't stop. Y'all saw how they did with Nas, man. Really overdid it for somebody who just said that Cameron's album was trash. They done did like how many mixtapes dissing Nas. They don't stop.
The thing is though, I think you got to be smart with that too, because Pusha T know what it is. Like, hell, this was a clear indication that like Jim Jones took his beat and rapped over it, I want to say the same day. And shot a video for it the same day. So that's a clear indication that, hey, I ain't about to keep fighting with you, dude. I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and I'm gonna go back in the cut and chill. Like, I'm not about to keep going back. I'm not about to keep going back and forth with you. Have you ever seen somebody that always argue?
Yeah.
And you just like, man, I'm saying what I got to say. I'm gonna call you a bitch and get the fuck out of here, you dirty ass bitch. And that's it. And you just ending it. That's it. You ain't about to keep going back and forth because you know that person can go all day long. I think Pusha T gotta know this. He gotta know that, hey, I'm gonna just throw something out there. He probably gonna respond, but it ain't gonna be on no, oh shit, I gotta make a response to this. Because you got some responses where, like Drake. Like, I feel like Drake had to respond to Pusha T after the whole baby stuff and after that story of Adidon. I feel like he had to say something about that. But I don't know if Jim Jones can make a diss song where you like, oh shit, like this looking bad for Pusha T. He got to respond to this because the Jim Jones diss song, I felt like it was really good. But I don't think it was worth Pusha T getting up and getting in the studio again. So I think at most Jim Jones will probably do that again.
The problem is the fans, and by fans I mainly mean like Drake fans, will call Pusha a bitch if he don't respond to Jim Jones's 12 diss songs he drops after Pusha T drops a bar. Because that's the thing. That's the mistake that Drake made. Yeah. Infrared did need a response to it. Yeah, it wasn't different from what Pusha T had been saying about Drake and Young Money and Lil Wayne for a while now. It's just that for whatever reason, Drake felt like it was. I think he was gassed off the fight with Meek Mill, and I think he thought like, "Fuck it, I'm a bite," and that's really what fucked him up. He did not need to respond to that, and I think Pusha T is not going to make the same mistake that Drake made by responding and then inviting the onslaught. Now, I don't think Jim Jones is going to kill Pusha T like Pusha T killed Drake, but the issue would be that all the Drake fans and the haters will be like, oh, so you can respond to Drake immediately, but you can't say shit to Pusha T or you can't say shit to Jim Jones after he makes a whole diss song about you. So, I mean, there's that.
Yeah, I think, but see, I think if you push a T, you got to be strong, man. Don't let I'm gonna go full blown Houston, Texas. Don't let the outside noise get to you. Don't worry about the outside noise. I think because you will have people like academic. I agree with you. I think you will have people like academics, like, all right, Pusha T, you on the clock.
Yeah.
It's been 5 days now. Where he gonna try to do all that, but nah, man. Like Pusha T can't make a mistake and try to get in the back and forth like that, especially with somebody like Jim Jones. Like you cannot do that. So I think and eventually it would die. I mean, it would die out, to be honest, because I don't think we're gonna be waiting on the edge of our seats for a response. And to be honest, the only people that's keep bringing that part up is Drake fans. Like, ain't nobody else bringing it up. Like, I didn't care he didn't respond to Jim Jones. Like, I didn't give a shit. I just felt like that was a good song. I feel like, respectfully, Jim Jones had a really good diss song towards him. I thought it was cool. I thought it was crazy how he pretty much took that beat and shot a video on the block that quick for it. So I thought it was all cool, but me personally, I wasn't like expecting Pusha T to try to hurry up and respond to it. So I think if Pusha T want to do it this way, I think the smart thing is don't try to give in to what the fans are saying, where you got to hurry up and respond to it. I think it's certain tiers where you got to hurry up and respond to this person. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like we bring up Joey Badass. He kept shooting shots at Kendrick. He wanted to go with Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick ain't about to give him the light of day, man. He might say something on a song, maybe. And I don't even know if he recording any new songs at this point. We might not get another Kendrick for another 10 years. But he ain't about to give him a one-on-one. Like, that's kind of silly. But I think Pusha T, I don't know if he gonna. I just don't think he got time to be going back and forth with a Jim Jones, and that's respectfully.
Yeah, look, I agree with you, but I think we are rational, normal people, and I think the majority of people on social media are not, at least the way they come off. Yeah. And I think also the fact that when a rapper this is a bigger rapper but won't respond to one that people perceive as to be a lower tier, that kind of just proves that rap beef is all about clout.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes it look a little more pathetic. The fact that, okay, at the end of the day, y'all are just trying to get numbers by dissing. Look what it did to Kendrick. Yeah. All right. I'm not saying he dissed Drake to break hip hop. No, there's no way he knew Not Like Us would be made and be as big as it was.
Yeah.
But to some extent, like, it made financial sense to go at Drake and to go at people who are even a Travis Scott. It gets people talking, it gets impressions, it gets people listening to the music. And so by not responding to a Jim Jones or a Joey Badass, you just kind of admit that, it's not about the art of battle, it's about money.
Yeah.
And you're not going to respond to those people, even though they are MCs and, worthwhile MCs, but it's not worth for you because there's no money in it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's crazy, man. It's kind of wild when you say it like that too, because now, like, everybody look like a clout chaser at this point, because you could easily say, I could battle with anybody. I'm the best. And somebody come at you, it's like, oh no, you're beneath me. I need somebody bigger. I need somebody bigger I can battle. It's just like, man, this dude was saying a lot of disrespectful stuff to you, and you just gonna let that slide. But you want to battle somebody like a Drake. So it's be interesting. I can't wait for this album to come out, man.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not, to be honest, I don't care about the disses anymore. I just want to hear the music. I want to hear the bars. I want to hear the grimy ass shit again. I don't care about who he's dissing or who's getting the subliminal shots. Even this Travis Scott thing, I didn't care to look too much into it. I really didn't care.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the album.
Yeah, I was kind of at first. I thought he was talking about Kanye in that diss.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, and then I got to read through the comments and all that stuff, what people saying, and everybody, it's obvious it's Travis Scott. It's not. Why would it be? I'm like, motherfucker, that sounds just like Kanye, don't it?
Talking about Calabasas and with your girl. it sounded like he was referencing the Sicko Mode verse.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Damn, I'm like, dog. It's two dudes that dated a Kardashian or Jenner. Like, it's not that far fetched to feel like I thought that was Kanye.
Yeah,
Right.
plus this trend of not mentioning names in rap, which I'm sick of. Like, if you're gonna diss somebody, just say their name. I really hate this subliminal. I'm above mentioning their name, but I'm gonna talk about them anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's getting pretty annoying. That's why I'm really glad that Kendrick and Drake dropped that shit immediately, and they actually called each other out by name.
Yeah.
That's one underrated thing about that battle people don't really talk about, but I appreciate the fact that they actually did that.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was kind of, and I think Kendrick made it clear too, in the not like that. I think it was like that verse because he didn't say no names, but you knew who he was talking about.
Yeah,
I was still, because you still had people trying to act like he wasn't talking about them, and it's just like, come on, man. But once Drake dropped, it was just like, okay, he's actually putting a name on it. So that kind of made me feel a little better.
No, it did 100%. I'm tired of the subliminal don't want to mention names type shit. So I'm glad they actually dropped that.
Yeah. But real quick, I'm looking at the lyrics from the Pusha T, that last verse. I didn't even catch this because, at first, remember, I thought it was about Kanye. But when he said, I got the video, I can share and AE it, I thought, I didn't realize he was talking about, so the guy he was talking about was Cher's boyfriend. Cher's boyfriend, they call him AE. So so apparently he got in a fight with Travis Scott at some party. I
thought he was talking about like A&E, the TV channel.
That's what I thought he was talking. That's what I thought he was talking about.
Who the fuck, off the top of their head, who knows the name of Cher's boyfriend?
That's what I'm saying. If you would have told me they was talking about Cher's boyfriend, I would have said you was lying.
Dog, that's like, how are we supposed to get that off top? Like, ooh, AE, who's talking about? Ooh, AE. Nobody knows who AE is, man. Like, come on, unless you're talking about Sonny Bono. I don't know. I don't know who the fuck is fucking with Cher, man. I don't know the name of her little twink, black boyfriend, whatever the fuck he is. So
yeah, what's the name of her boyfriend?
I don't even know, but yeah, I don't know how he's supposed to know that. Like, I don't know the name of Madonna's boyfriend either.
His name is Alexander Edwards.
Okay,
I guess he go by AE.
No.
But I'm like, I would have never guessed that.
Anybody who caught that reference off the top without needing to look it up or be told about it needs to seek employment. Like, maybe get on Indeed.com instead of social media. Look for a job, because there's no way you got a job and responsibilities and know the name of Cher's boyfriend.
Yeah.
In regards to a hip hop beef.
Yeah, and the thing, and this is the other part you probably didn't catch. He said, "But I got the video I can share." So SHARE, or
yeah, double entendre. I get it. I get it now.
Yeah,
but I didn't know what that meant at first.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, who would have thought that? I'm thinking he just being basic, like I could share it or AE it, put it on A&E.
Yeah, that's a deep double entendre that flew over my head.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is getting to a point where we need fucking DJ academics and other gossipers to explain what these things mean.
Yeah.
This is not hip hop to me, man. I don't care about this gossipy shit. All right. I really don't. Like, I push back when people call Pusha TMZ and the fact that he won the Drake battle off of gossip. Because I think anything goes in a rap battle, but I think at a certain point it gets to be a little over the top, and I think it's getting a little over the top.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know how to feel about this when we kind of started it a little bit. I'm like, man, I don't know about this part right here. I feel like he could have left that part out. It would have been a fire song.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how I feel about I got the video in the rap song. I'm like, man, like what are we talking about? Unless you in the 90s and you got some type of VHS or somebody getting their ass whooped or something like that. It's like I'm gonna up the video. This tough ass rapper running from another dude for getting beat up or something like that. But nobody don't care about that. Like I don't give a damn about Travis Scott as far as that stuff.
He's starting to sound like Whack 100, man. With all this, I got the paperwork, I got the video. Nipsey had a freak off. I got the video, I got the paperwork. Like, all right, man. At some point, I don't really care.
Yeah,
we can move on. The song was fine without that part to me.
Yeah, I didn't understand that angle right there, man. I don't know. I mean, it was a cool double entendre, but like, hopefully it was just that. I hope he don't actually release a video. Like, oh, look, this is him getting beat up by Sharon's boyfriend. Like, who give a damn, man? Like, who, like, really, who give a shit? Are you gonna feel a different type of way seeing Travis Scott get beat up?
Man, no. Like, this is not some kind of respected street dude who's talking that shit. All right, he's the low key at the night show motherfucker, man. I don't know nobody.
Like, he ain't gonna lose no money. Is he gonna lose some money just from a video with him getting beat up?
No.
Like, if anything, I feel like people might feel sorry for him.
Yes. Like, why is this 50-year-old rapper bullying my favorite auto-tune singer?
Yeah. Oh, why are they doing that to Travis Scott? He don't bother nobody.
Yeah, man. I don't really care for it. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Travis Scott. I think he's done some slimy stuff as far as like steal shit from people and just be an asshole in general behind the scenes to people. But at the same time, I don't care about a Pusha T fight with him. I don't care about any kind of rap beef with Travis Scott in general. So, next topic, man. Some more music came out. I think Cardi B has a new single called Outside. I guess this is capitalizing on her newfound single motherhood and relationship with Stephon Diggs. I don't know. I didn't hear the song.
Yeah, I meant to tell you to listen to it before you hopped on.
I saw Cardi B had a new single. And I'm like, I mean, does it sound good? Did you hear it?
It's honestly, man, my honest thought, I feel like it sounds like a regular Cardi B song. I felt like you heard it's her stuff. I think it's getting to a point. Her stuff all sound the same. Like, it kind of sounds similar to the song Money. It sounds like to Up If You Stuck, and it's a couple other songs. Let's say her last 5 releases. Let me look this up. Her last 5 releases. It sounds similar to that, man.
What's funny to me is I feel like she has released an album's worth of singles ever since her first album came out, but she is still yet to drop an official album, a second album. Since like what, 2017?
Yeah, I want to say 2017, 2018.
Crazy. Yeah. She had a mixtape and a album, and that was it.
Yeah,
just blue seats from now on.
Yep. She released. I'm gonna kind of go through her stuff. So after Invasion of Privacy, she released a song in 2021 called Rumors. I think I remember that song. I remember
that was with Offset, wasn't it?
No, I don't think it was.
She had a song with Offset. I think that was not far after the album. I forget what it was called though. Clout. It was called Clout.
Yeah, it wasn't that one. But this one's called Rumors. It kind of got that similar feel to it. I don't remember this one. Point Me To. But then remember she had the song with Meg Thee Stallion, Bongos, that didn't do nothing.
But that was after WAP, right?
Yeah, this was after WAP.
Okay.
Because this one didn't do anything. But she had a song called Like What? I don't even remember that one. But the other one, remember, it sound like this sound like her last single, which was in 2024, called Enough. It was a song called Enough. Like enough is enough. Or something like that. I don't know, but it sound exactly like up if it's stuck or something like that. Yeah, it sounds exactly the same, man. Maybe it seems like she is trying to set a like a little trend, like a TikTok type of song. Like I'm outside and kind of I'm outside, fuck your nigga type of thing. So it seemed like she's trying to do something like that. And obviously she probably got a little motivation from Offset, because it sounds like she talking right to him. Like just pretty much a nigga ain't shit anthem. That's all it is. But that's all I got on that. It's just I don't know. I'm just kind of curious, man. I don't know if she ever gonna release an album.
I'm sure she will eventually when she's completely basically forgotten about. Kind of like how Rihanna wants to drop something now and is already trying to front load it by saying, hey, it's not going to be like, a pop type mainstream album. I'm sure that's what Cardi B is going to say when her album drops.
Yeah.
Oh, this is for my fans. It's not for the radio waves.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bunch of shit that sound like all her other music.
Yeah. Or they might try to mask it with, oh, this is just a little EP. I'll just throw some loosies, or try to make it like, oh, these some throwaways or like that. If it pop off, then they're gonna run with it. If it don't, well, it's just throwaways.
No, it's the excuse, because look, the stand war between Nicki fans and Cardi fans is not cooled down at all, and she knows that whatever her next album does number wise, if it's less than Nicki's last album, it's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be a blow to the Cardi stands. So yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be some kind of mixtape EP, some kind of baked in excuse for if it flops, then it wasn't no serious album, man. It was just for my fans.
Yeah.
All right, Cardi.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think you brought this up back then when A$AP Rocky dropped the album Testing.
Yes.
Like I'm experimenting, doing
experimenting with this floppy ass shit, man. I still can't believe you and Jules like that album, man. I'm like, what do y'all like about this album? This sounds terrible, man.
Yeah, of course it's not his best work, but I have a problem. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it.
I've heard people go back and be like, oh, it was underrated for the time. Y'all didn't appreciate it. I'm like, I think about you every time I see that take, man, because I'm like, this a burner Figgy account trying to pump up this A$AP Rocky album. It's like, oh, it's a slept on classic.
Now I wouldn't say it was underrated, but like when it originally came out, I didn't have an issue with it. I was playing it, but it definitely wasn't better than Long Live A$AP and all that, or even the mixtape. It wasn't better than those. But yeah, I ain't have an issue. I'm gonna have to go back and see how it hold up now. I'm gonna see how it hold up now.
And he dropped a few singles, and I thought his album was coming out. I know it got pushed back. I thought before it was because of the case he was under, but then that got resolved, and he still ain't dropped shit. So I don't know what's happening, man.
Yeah, I thought he put a date out there for it, but yeah,
I think he had to refund the album because he had pre-sales and then it didn't come out.
Oh damn!
But yeah, I don't know when it's coming out now. Let me see. A$AP Rocky new album. It's set to release in 2025.
It said early 2025 too.
Yeah, I don't think this is coming out this year, man.
Yeah.
I don't see any kind of date on it unless you want to drop it like at the end of the year. Yeah. I see he dodged a question. I guess they asked him. It's supposed to come out on August 30th, but he dodged that question about when it's actually coming out. So yeah, I don't know.
It could be some label shit. I don't know what label is he on. It could be
AWGE. What the fuck?
He got to be
RCA.
He on RCA?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I was kind of curious, like, is that connected to like something with Drake or Atlantic or something like that? Where yeah, I was just trying to see. I was trying to go through the I guess the timeline to see what possibly why is he not, I guess, making it.
Probably want some kind of hit, some kind of something that bangs on TikTok. And
Yeah.
he put out a few songs that didn't really make a lot of waves, and they probably want him to go back to the drawing board. So I don't know, man.
Man, I'm looking on his Wikipedia right now. I never looked on his Wikipedia. Did you know he was a voice on a video game?
What? He was the Falcon in Marvel Avengers Academy and Need for Speed. Oh, he was actually in the game?
Yeah, he was himself.
No, I gotta play that. I'm sure it's like I'm gonna try to play that game and get a clip. ASAP Rocky is in Need for Speed. What the fuck would he be doing in Need for Speed, man?
Yeah.
Why would you need to meet ASAP? This is an underground racing game. At what point would you need to meet ASAP Rocky?
Yeah, and then I'm like, this Marvel, what is this? This look like it's
a mobile game.
Yeah.
Dog, they must have a lot of money to. This is a game that I'm sure nobody played.
Yeah, I never.
ASAP Rocky was the Falcon. Damn, what? Now it couldn't. Now you have to think about it. What's that Falcon actor's name?
God,
I forgot, man. That dude with the funny face.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie. Yeah, Anthony Mackie.
Yes.
Now, is it possible that ASAP Rocky cost less than Anthony Mackie? They couldn't get Anthony Mackie to say a few lines for a fucking stupid ass game. They had to get ASAP Rocky.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised ASAP Rocky was like, yeah, I do it. I'm shocked at that, man.
I have to hear how that sounds. Let me try to look. Can we? No, I don't want to play a clip because it might get taken down on YouTube.
Yeah,
but yeah, that sounds ridiculous, man. Dragon Spitfire said ASAP a stay-at-home dad now. I mean, if I were him, I would be.
Yeah.
At this point, what's the point in trying to rap anymore? You already made it.
Yeah.
You had a billionaire baby. You ain't gotta fucking sell your Harlem nigga who fucking do this H-Town slang and fucking talk about candy paint and shit. I wanted to hear that anymore,
all the women he got.
Yeah, pretty motherfucker, all that shit. Stealing a little B swag, but that's all another topic. I ain't get to that. All right, we getting a little deep into the podcast, man. So let's get into some other topics. Apparently, World War III has popped off for now. What, the 15th time I've heard it happening?
Yeah,
but this one might be real, man. I don't know. Iran and Israel getting it popping. I've heard talks of nukes, possibly with Iran. I've heard American intervention is going to happen. I don't know. I try to limit my time on social media in general, just for my mental health. So I haven't been too tapped in on it. But it sounds pretty crazy, man. I don't know what's going on in the world anymore with this, trying to defend Israel and just I don't know, crazy stuff. I don't even know how to react to it anymore. I'm numb to a lot of geopolitical debates and talk on social media. Do you have any thoughts about this, Figgy?
Yeah, I feel like it was a little eye-opening because not only did they talk about the World War III, but they said Israel killed some top-notch people in Iran. So I'm like, oh man, so it's getting really real. But yeah, I think this is probably the closest the real is going to get, and I'm kind of curious what's going to happen. Like, hopefully the worst thing won't happen, but it's kind of like two people fighting. It's like, oh, if you jump in, then so-and-so gonna jump in, and then so-and-so gonna jump in. So I'm kind of intrigued by that part. And plus, you got somebody in office like a Donald Trump that you have no idea what he's going to do. This ain't just no typical president that's just going to step in and probably make peace with both of these countries or something like that. I don't know what the hell he gonna do, man. So I'm very intrigued to see what's gonna happen right here, man, because it seemed like this would be a thing where you kind of mind your business and like this ain't got nothing to do with me. That's between y'all two.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of curious to see how it's gonna pop off, man.
Yeah, I just in general I've been disturbed by a lot of the Israel stuff I've seen lately in terms of American politics. Like, for example, I saw a debate with the New York mayoral candidates, and they were doing a roundtable, and the question was, what's the first thing you're going to do upon if you were elected mayor of New York? And every one of them said they were going to go visit Israel. Like, all of them did, except for one guy, and they tried to paint the one guy who said he wouldn't just immediately go to Israel, and they said you're an anti-Semite. And I'm like, this is the mayor of a city.
Yeah.
This is not the fucking senator or anything, the president.
Yeah.
Why would they even give a fuck about what's going on over there, man?
You worry about New York City, right?
That's what I'm saying. Is it just a perfect city with nothing bad happening that they could just focus on a foreign country? It's the pandering I've seen go on for what's going on in Israel is just out of this world, man. Now I understand there are high stakes and a lot of connections and people who are funded by people who have, things they have to keep up on. But at the same time, we got our own issues here, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this is just at the top of everybody's mind when you're running for the mayor of a major American city.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I don't get it.
Yeah, I did not understand that. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna really be interesting, man. I tried to I seen some of the jokes on social media and stuff like that, but I was trying to keep up with it on the news, but at the time they wasn't even talking about it, man. They was talking about the protests and the marching and all that stuff. So I'm like, damn, this is how crazy of a news time this was. They was talking about all the protests in LA and all these different places, but then they kind of snuck in like, someone, I think it was one person on the Senate or some was assassinated in his house. I'm like, what? I'm like, that should be big news, shouldn't it? They just
yeah.
They just kind of put that in the like towards the end. I'm like, wait a minute. And the dude was still on the loose. I'm like, hold on, man. I'm like, y'all just can't just gonna bring this up like it's nothing. And
no, if you see the video of that, the dude had a weird ass mask on. They had a Ring camera, and they still opened the door for this motherfucker.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what?
He said it was the police or something. I'm like, what? I don't know if I opened the door for the police.
Nah, if I had a Ring camera and saw somebody wearing an obvious mask, I'm not gonna open the door, man.
Yeah,
but that shit was wild.
Yeah, but no, it's some crazy times, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Just try to keep your peace and just live your life the best you can. Limit social media if you can, because it's just gonna drive you crazy with stress and anxiety. I think that's by design as well. So just be careful, protect your peace, man. Dragon says, funny how nobody tells North Korea they can't have nukes. They'll fuck around and fire that off, man. You can't. Yeah. It's kind of like I saw an interview with the Mexican OT, that rapper.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen this clip too. He was on the Angela Yee podcast, and they asked him about saying the N-word and about Mexicans in general using the N-word. And he basically said, he respects black people, but what are they going to do about it if he says it? And North Korea is the same way. What are you going to do about it if you say they can't have nukes?
Yeah.
Like, you don't go over there and tell them?
Yeah. Yeah. I look at North Korea as like you know how you be, you got the gangsters, you got nerds and all this other stuff, and then you just got that one dude over there that's crazy as hell. And you, no matter who it is, you like, man, let him stay cool over there. Like, don't bother him at all. If you bother him, that's your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just leave him alone. He was in the crazy house a couple times. He do some wild shit. Like, just leave him be, man. We ain't trying to fight with him. I think that's North Korea.
It is crazy how in my lifetime our national enemy has changed so many times, because it used to be North Korea was like the biggest threat to America, and now we don't even hear him being mentioned anymore.
Yeah,
now it's back to Iran. We're back in 2001.
We're gonna be in Iraq in a minute.
Yeah, it was Russia for a while. It was Iraq. It was Afghanistan, Iran. That we done ran back to Iran.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
nah, it's wild. Palestine, all that shit. Yeah, we're circling, we're recycling our enemies, man. We need some new ones.
Yeah. Hey, wait till you get to China.
Oh yeah, well that's always been there. But...
Yeah, wait. Yeah, I feel like that's Drake and Kendrick Lamar at this point. Like, it's kind of like, oh shit, like,
yeah,
it's brewing, and we just kind of waiting on it to happen.
Yeah, that will be the end. That might actually be the end. USA versus China. So
yeah,
we already done back down from all the damn tariffs. So
yeah,
that didn't work out all that well.
Yeah, China over there, like, go ahead to do it. Watch what happens. They the only ones standing. They pretty much standing tall. So
nah, for real, we've been around 4,000 years. You think we worried about the next one?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. In other news, going back to sports real quick, the Los Angeles Lakers were sold for $10 billion. I forgot who bought it, like the Walter Group or some shit like that. What were they called?
I don't know who bought. I actually didn't see who actually bought it.
The new owner, Mark Walter, who is the CEO and founding of holding company TWG Global. Let me look up this thing about who is he.
I have no idea what that is.
He is a 65-year-old businessman from Iowa. His net worth is $6.1 billion, but he bought the Lakers for 10. That's crazy. And I don't see, TWG Global controls business and renewable energy, blah, blah, blah. And he also owns the Dodgers.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, he's part of the investment group.
Okay.
That owns the Dodgers, apparently. So, okay. But anyway, I don't care about the Lakers particularly, but I do care about the conspiracy theories, which are now at the fever pitch, I feel, because the whole situation about the Luka Doncic trade is just even weirder now. Because first you have the trade happening to begin with for what the Mavericks got back for him.
Yeah.
Then you have the Mavericks get the number 1 pick somehow, magically. Now you have the Lakers being sold for $10 billion.
Yeah.
What a crazy amount of coincidences that happened.
Yeah.
Within the not even a year.
Yeah. Nah, it's crazy, man. It seemed like it was some type of backdoor deal. Maybe this was already because we haven't heard anything about the Lakers being sold or anything. And it wasn't until a couple days ago when it actually happened. It was just like, damn, I didn't even know it was for sale. I thought that was one team that wasn't going to be for sale. But yeah, it's hard to believe that wasn't set in place for the sale. And I think they know LeBron ain't got long. And obviously maybe that hurt the sale a little bit. I mean, I know it's the Lakers, but maybe, life after LeBron with no Luka, maybe that would have hurt the sale a little bit. But it's hard for me to believe that this wasn't all in place before the Luka trade. or maybe shortly after or something like that. I don't know. But the other thing I was thinking about was it seemed like we kind of moving into a place where a lot of these family owned franchises is getting out of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like I know Jenny Buss was still I think she's still gonna be running everything there like normal, but it seemed like all of these family owned business or family owned franchises, like even Boston and other franchises too, seem like they getting out of it now. So I'm wondering, I'm kind of wondering why everybody just giving it up. Maybe it's just too hard to handle, or and two, I think a lot of it now is the kids are pretty much running it now. So maybe they wasn't really into it, but I wonder what's going on with people just kind of getting out of it, especially in the NBA.
I think in general, I mean, it's kind of the same with everybody selling their music catalog and all these artists selling their whole discography, their rights or publishing or whatever. It's just a good time to sell. The league has never been bigger than it is right now. They just signed a new TV deal. And I think they're just trying to cash out while they still can, basically. I mean, at this, you look what the buses paid for the Lakers initially and what they sold it for. That's a huge return on investment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's also they see this being the peak, maybe. Maybe they see, maybe the next TV deal won't be as much. Maybe when LeBron and Steph and all these superstars retire, who's to guarantee that the ratings will stay what they are now and won't decline even further?
Yeah.
Who's to say we won't be one day seeing a WNBA Caitlin Clark game have higher ratings than an NBA primetime game?
Yeah.
That could happen. That could happen. So I think people are seeing the writing on the wall a little bit with the NBA, and they're just trying to cash out while they still can, while it's still popular, while it's still worth a lot. And I don't know. I think that's kind of my thought on it.
That's where I was kind of getting at with it, because you really don't see it as much in the NFL. Of course, you see teams getting sold and stuff like that, but it seems like a lot of these people get into it, and they're family owned. So like the Bears, you got the Lions, who haven't really been that good in a long time. I know the Lions been good lately, but haven't won anything in a long time, and they still holding on to them. And I wonder, I was kind of curious, is this a get out before the ship sink type of thing? And it seemed like I don't think the NBA gonna go bankrupt in a couple years or nothing, but I wonder if it's like, man, it's smart to get out while we can. And before the product get a little too bad, because it's kind of interesting. And then you got like a certain type of person buying it. It's not like a whole family thing like Jerry Buss was, but I don't know. It's crazy, man. I think I thought it was a little bit head scratching when Mark Cuban got out of it.
Yeah.
Because he's like the ultimate business person. If I can have somebody run a business for me, I will probably have Mark Cuban do it. It seems like he's very smart when it comes to that type of stuff. And he got out of it. So that was, to me, that's why I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? And then you see the Boston Celtics get sold. And now the Lakers get sold. So I'm like, is everybody just trading in their shit before the value go down? It kind of seemed like it.
I think it's a mix of that plus people overpaying for it too. I knew the Lakers were worth a lot. $10 billion is a crazy amount, man.
Yeah,
I really didn't think they'd be sold for that much. So I think it's a mix of people and groups willing to overpay for NBA franchises, and there being a little bit of, okay, we don't see this getting much bigger than it is right now. So let's dip out before,
Yeah.
it's not worth this anymore.
Man.
Dragon says, remember Mark Cuban was saying the NFL was the one in trouble, then he sells his controlling ownership of the Mavericks. Yeah, exactly, man. That's one of the funniest takes of all time, honestly. Because at one point, it really did feel like the NFL might be dying, or at least going down. I think especially when that Colin Kaepernick stuff started happening, ratings dipped a little bit, and everybody thought the NBA was going to take over. And, of course, that didn't happen. Now the NFL is bigger than it's ever been. And the NBA ratings, I mean, this is going to have to go down as one of the lowest, even though it's a good series between two good teams. It's going to end up being one of the lowest rated finals in NBA history, man. I feel, at least, I know game 2 was the lowest rated since like 2020.
Yeah.
I think game 7 will do better since it's a game 7. It's an elimination game, of course. But I was just looking back and I was thinking how one comment that LeBron made on his podcast with Steve Nash dominated all the sports headlines. This is the motherfucker that's not even playing right now. And every sports show is talking about that. And all the clips I see on social media in the NBA are talking about LeBron thoughts on ring culture. And I'm like, okay, LeBron ain't got more than 3 years left in him. What are they going to do when he's gone? Who's going to command this kind of attention in the NBA when LeBron is gone? Nobody can do that.
Yeah. I think what I got a feeling that because I don't think LeBron just going to retire and be under the radar forever. I think he's still going to probably be doing this podcast and all that stuff. They probably still going to be doing the same shit they doing now. He just ain't going to be playing. They just going to break down everything he said on a podcast or on the shop. And LeBron was on Pat McAfee, and they just gonna keep doing the same. I feel like they probably gonna run that well dry. And I do think, I'm really curious what they're gonna do because it ain't nobody else in the NBA that's this polarizing like LeBron. Like right now, who is like I can't even name anybody that's really this polarizing. Where every time he open his mouth, it's a segment on First Take. Like I don't know anybody like that currently. So I think it will struggle a little bit with that.
Do you still think the coverage will be as intense once LeBron retires?
It's tough to say because I want to say yes because hell, he like you said, he ain't even playing right now. And it feel like he should be playing the way they talking about him. But it's hard to say because I got to see what LeBron is doing. Because if LeBron just really fly under the radar, not really doing anything basketball related or weighing in on rings and what he did when he was in it, if he's not doing that type of stuff, then I think they will have to move on at some point. Maybe they just start talking about the Cowboys or something. I don't know. But if he's doing what he's doing now as far as media, and just kind of weighing in on everything and his time in the league and all that stuff, I think they will keep running with that. I really do, man, because like I said, it ain't like I don't know what else that's this polarizing as LeBron. Like I don't know anything else because I feel like nobody else really say anything that's really polarizing like that. And I'm using that loosely because LeBron could just say, hey, I felt like I won the best. I felt like the 2016 finals was the best in history. And people were just going to turn that into Jordan versus LeBron. So it's just going to be stuff like that. But I think they're going to be kind of in trouble, man, because I'm sitting here trying to think of a current player right now that's really that polarized. Maybe, then this is for the wrong reasons, but Ja Morant. Like maybe they could just dissect everything Ja Morant do.
He's not good enough at this point. He kind of fell off, honestly. It was looking like he was going to be the next big star.
Yeah.
But he kind of fell off this last season, man. I know he came back from injury, but
that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like everybody else is a little too relaxed. Even the MVP that's playing now, like SGA, he's a little too relaxed. Like he's not really giving you anything. So I'm really curious what they do. Maybe not Steph Curry. Is he on? He ain't go.
He ain't got much longer left either, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He ain't gonna move to maybe KD is 37. We was just talking
He's
about
almost
that.
done. Yeah.
Like he moved the needle a little bit because he be out here tweeting and giving his opinions. But I don't know anybody else that will, you could pass the torch to where ESPN can really dominate as far as like NBA stuff. Maybe it might just be Caitlin Clark.
It probably is, man. Honestly, I see the WNBA taking a huge step. I mean, I've never seen coverage of the league like this. They've been around for a while, too. I've never seen the league covered like this. They're being covered like men, almost damn near. They're even getting the jokes and the memes now, so it's getting real.
I wanted to ask you about this, too. So I don't know if you've seen this video of Kelsey Plum. She was walking to her hotel. And it was
yeah. The fans wanted an autograph and she thought it was weird.
Yeah. How you feel about that, man? Do you think she kind of overreact a little bit? Or do you feel like, hey, this is y'all getting the coverage now? This is what goes on when you getting a little more spotlight. Do you think she kind of overreacted to that?
I think the way she said it was like, she said like it turned her off or some shit like that the language she used was kind of odd. I do think it's weird in general for somebody to be where like catching somebody at an airport or catching you when you're coming to your hotel, something like that is weird for a fan to approach you in that type of situation, man. I can understand at a game, I can understand it around the arena, but especially for a woman to be somewhere where she's getting dropped off or coming around, that seems kind of stalkerish. And I don't think the rules really apply. You got to really think about how women feel about this type of shit, man. It's not the same as finding a man and asking for an autograph. Because some of these motherfuckers really be crazy out there. I think, didn't Caitlin Clark have like a serious stalker situation last year? And somebody, I think, got arrested for it.
I think so, yeah.
It was Caitlin Clark had like a hardcore stalker, and I think he went to prison over it. So I understand where she's coming from, but I do agree that the WNBA players seem to be a little too easily offended by certain things, and they, even though they claim they want to be covered like the men, they get a little too offended easily. They don't like the memes and the jokes, and they think that some stuff is over the top and offensive. And it's like, y'all really get treated with kid gloves if we're talking about the slander that NFL and NBA and soccer players get. The WNBA gets treated with kid gloves. They get jokes, but it's not nearly as bad as some of the. If you go over to soccer Twitter, man, that shit is ruthless. And so they don't get it that bad. But in general, I didn't think her comments were like, I understand how people took it, but you have to understand people like this are looking to get money off these cards. They're not looking to, oh, I'm a fan of yours and I just want your autograph. They're going to take that shit immediately to eBay. And that's another thing I think is weird about it too. So I didn't really mind her comments, but I understand what people are talking about when they think that she was a little too, offended by it.
Yeah, I do think they got to realize too, because I think people don't realize a lot of the stuff the guys go through on a day-to-day basis with the media, just getting critiqued every way possible by the media, fans talking shit online and all that stuff. I feel like, I mean, we have talked about the people that are a little sensitive, the players that are a little bit sensitive, and we actually call them out a lot. But I think it takes a special person to kind of, I guess, leave that in the background a little bit, man. And I think these girls are starting to get that now. They starting to get some of that noise that NBA be kind of getting. And I don't want to say they blow it out of proportion, because they all humans at the end of the day too. Like, everybody got feelings, but That's kind of how I go in the NBA too, man. Like these media people are ruthless. They be talking all type of shit. And so now you got a lot more media people that's tuned in to the WNBA giving their take on it. And it's kind of like, all right, like you see a lot of people saying a lot of stupid shit about the NBA all the time, or this person's doing this or that person doing that. And it seemed like I feel like they make more of a big deal about it. Where it was just like, man, it's not, to me, I don't want to say it's not that big of a deal, but that's the type of stuff you get when everybody is tuned in. They critique. That's kind of like right now, we probably not getting really critiqued on this podcast. But if this podcast blow up and you got millions of people watching it, people are going to be talking shit about my hair. They probably going to be like, man, who is this bald ass dude? Who is this dude stuttering all the time? And he don't know what, like you get way more critiques and people talking shit about you when there's a lot of people watching. And I think they just kind of getting a dose of that.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. I remember what Naomi Osaka went through when she was having those media conferences after a loss, and she was really, the questions she was being asked were not mean, but she just had a really bad reaction to it, and then she didn't want to talk at all, and that became a whole story because she got fined for it, and people acted like it's mean to make athletes talk after a game or after a match or whatever. And it's like, if a man acted like this, y'all would call him a pussy. Yeah. Imagine any man had a reaction and how we would react to that. Would anybody be empathetic towards a fucking Roger Federer acting like that? They would call him an entitled dick. Yeah. If he just didn't want to talk and said, I don't want to talk to the media because of you guys are mean. Yeah. So, nah, it's definitely, they get treated with kid gloves and it's still not enough for them. Yeah. Sometimes, man, y'all got to realize this is just how the game goes. With the WNBA, they really just got to ride this Caitlin Clark wave, man. They need to stop fronting like they're not. All right. They saw the fucking ratings went down the toilet when she was out injured. Then she came back and was looking like she looked like prime Steph Curry out there when she came back, man. She was hitting them from beyond NBA 3-point range.
Dude, I was sitting there. Figgy was watching me thing. I seen it was horrible. I'm like, let me tap in. Man, it looked like I was watching the female Steph Curry, man. The way she was just moving and just creating some space and just throwing it up there. I'm like, what? I'm like, nah, this is crazy, man. We need to stop. I know her and Angel Reese gonna be compared to each other because it's going back to college and all that, but they not even in the same ballpark, man. It's not even close. Like, I don't understand how people trying to make them like it's one or the other. Man, no, this girl, Caitlin Clark, is something special. And that's something the NBA need, which is something the WNBA needed, which is crazy because I felt like I really like watching their game, but I felt like they had some decent players throughout the years that was pretty good, but for some reason she moves the needle, man. I don't know what it is, but she moves the needle.
It's a lot of things. It's the fact that she's white in a majority black sport. It's the fact that she has an exciting style of play that Angel Reese just don't have. You see Angel Reese get her points and it looks very messy. You see Caitlin Clark, when she goes off, it looks like a NBA All-Star. Damn near, man. The way she comes off picks, the way she hits them from so deep is insane. So it's a lot of things with her. It's a perfect mix of a lot of stuff too. Political stuff, racial stuff, and in the on-court play matches as well. Yeah. But they just got to stop playing like she's not the draw right now. Ride the wave for what it's worth. Stop acting like, you see how BET gave the athletes or female athlete of the year, or whatever the fuck award it was, to Angel Reese.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. What kind of game are we playing here? I understand it felt like it was get back because I think ESPN gave the award to Caitlin Clark last year. So it's like, well, BET, we're gonna give it to Angel Reese. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
There's plenty other black athletes to give it to that are actually really good at their sport.
Yeah, because you seen the girl, the boxer, what's her name, Clarissa?
Yeah, she got mad and people got pissed at her, but she had a point.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want titles and shit, and you gave it to somebody who's not even good at basketball.
yeah, yeah. I thought she had a good point. People was calling her crazy and all that shit. I'm like, that was a good point, man. If you won at your highest level this year or last year, she didn't win at her highest level. And the award was, I forgot what the award was, but you had to win at some point, man. and they gave it to her. She was like, I was a little bit, I understood. I ain't gonna sit here and say I was confused, but I understood what they doing, and that's BET, man. Like, the best people never win the award, man. It's used they probably do it for people who there, or people who somebody that will create the most buzz type thing. It wouldn't have created no buzz if she won. But yeah, like I thought she had a valid point.
Yeah, she won the BET 2025 Sportswoman of the Year. And the other nominees were Aja Wilson, who was actually the MVP of the league.
Asia Wilson, yeah.
Asia Wilson, Clarissa Shields, Coco Gauff, South Carolina coach Dawn Staley, Flojo Johnson, Juju Watkins, and Shakari Richardson, and also Simone Biles. And
if we being real, if we want to pick somebody, I feel like Simone Biles. But how long ago was the Olympics last year?
It was last year. Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I feel like she probably could have.
Everybody, I don't know who the South Carolina coach was, but everybody else had a better case. Even Shakari Richardson, she did well this last year.
I think the South Carolina coach won too. I want to say she won at one last year. I think it was last year. But yeah, like your point, everybody won.
Yeah, and you had the MVP of the league in the category, and you give it to Angel Reese.
Yeah,
and I guess it's for other things outside of sports, like best sports / influencer, maybe best sportswoman with a podcast. Then I can see it going to her. But if you take on,
you got Dawn Staley in there, who's a coach.
Yeah, if you're talking about athletic accomplishments, I don't see how she won that award. But they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Beef to the beef.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, man, I think we kind of solved it. I feel like WNBA gonna take over the NBA once LeBron leave.
I can honestly, dog, I would have never seen that happening in a million years, but now I can honestly see it happening.
That probably makes the most sense because, like I said, we were just sitting here saying who's going to take over for LeBron and the headlines type stuff. I couldn't really name anybody. And the person that will take over for headlines is probably Caitlin Clark, which means they probably going to be talking. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be breaking down the WNBA games, but they definitely going to be. She definitely going to be in the headlines, kind of LeBron-ish a little bit. Not in the headlines for the wrong reasons, but just anything that happened with her name on the side. Let's talk about it. Let's put it on First Take. She's one of those people.
Yeah, and I don't think we really appreciate how lucky we were to get LeBron basically right after Jordan. I know there were some years and then Jordan was on the Wizards and it wasn't the same. But LeBron came when he was needed by the league, and he stayed the top star for so long. It's possible that there won't be another LeBron James.
Yeah.
It's possible we just won't see another NBA athlete on that level, or maybe he's not born yet, or maybe he's not in the league yet. Yeah. But it's very possible. I think we take for granted the fact that we had these athletes that were so dominant in the conversation, so dominant on the court, and we're just not going to see that again anytime soon with the current crop of players.
Yeah, because even if you look at the newer players like Wemby, and I'm trying to think of some other players that came out recently, but for instance, Wemby, everybody was like, "Oh, that's the next superstar."
They did it with Zion. Zion was supposed to be the next LeBron.
Yeah, that's going pretty bad now. But even with Wemby, man, he don't really have that aura that LeBron has, where you could talk about him all day long. Like, no, he's a good player. He probably gonna be way better. Like he's a freak of an athlete, dude. 7'5", dribbling like he's Steve Nash or some shit. But it just don't. I feel like it's not really that type of draw. Like, I don't know what it is, man. It's just not. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's really not, man. And I don't know if we're gonna see that anytime soon. People just gotta accept that we might not get another LeBron. We might not get another Jordan type athlete who's just that controversial, that dominant, that popular. It's not easy to. These people don't grow on trees.
Yeah,
and at the rate these players are playing, the fact that they get injured and they have one hot year, then they kind of fall off.
Yeah,
we might get another one, man. I don't know.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at all the MVPs of the years, and just looking at them, I'm just like, man, this person don't really move the needle like that. You got SGA who just won it this year. Like, he seemed like a quiet guy. Jokic kind of play like he don't give a damn.
Like, well, he don't play like that, but he has that demeanor like he doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know about his actual play on the field, but he just kind of act like he don't give a damn. So I don't know if they just gonna be sitting there talking about him all the time. Joel Embiid, he always hurt. You got Giannis.
Stole that MVP, by the way. He didn't even deserve that shit. But
it should have been Jokic, man.
Yeah.
He would have been a four-time MVP, man. And then you got Giannis. I mean, I think he's cool to watch and stuff, but like I said, he's
corny.
He don't really grab them headlines, man. Like, what kind of headline? Like, I'm just
a nice French. I'm just a Greek guy, I'm just a regular guy.
Yeah, Greek and Nigerian. James Harden, he's kind of on his way out a little bit. Like, after that, man, everybody else is kind of, that's it, man. Like, I just don't know, man.
Yeah,
maybe it is a smart move for Jenny Buss to sell the Lakers.
Yep. Yep. She saw how Luka was coming into camp. She saw him at the buffet table, and he's like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah, even Luka, man. Like, we was talking about Luka a lot. Like, I don't know how much, and I like watching him play. I don't know how much he, moved the needle like that.
Nobody really cares about him like that. People care because he's on the Lakers. But the biggest topic about him has been his lack of defense.
Yeah.
Other than that, nobody cares about him in general.
Yeah. Yeah. I see it.
Other news. We have another one on somebody else has come up on the Summer Jam screen.
Uh-oh.
And this is very funny because I was just thinking about this, and once again we predicted the future on the podcast. Because just last podcast, what were we talking about? We're talking about Fat Joe, and you called him the New York version of Bun B. Because we were talking about how he seems to be picked for everything, and whenever they need anybody to represent like a celebrity from New York or any kind of rapper type thing, he's the first choice. It seems like he's always there in the mix somehow, some way. It's always Fat Joe.
Yeah,
he's there throwing the first pitch of the fucking Yankees game or something. He's there whenever they need a impromptu performance, a lean back for fucking whatever the fuck they're doing. It's always him. And we were talking about how he seemed like the safest, most inoffensive rapper to choose for a public appearance. Well, not anymore. Fat Joe was hit by a $20 million lawsuit from his former hype man, who alleges that he forced him into sex acts, over 4,000 sex acts. Also, he claims that Joe had sex with minors and paid for a 15-year-old girl's BBL.
Man.
So, yeah, this is he's asking for $20 million for unpaid performance wages, lost per diem, stolen publishing revenue, unpaid royalties, and physical and emotional injuries resulting from the defendant's unlawful conduct. And yeah, Dixon accused Joe of being in multiple sexual relationships with minors in exchange for money. 3 anonymous girls are mentioned in the suit between the ages of 15 to 16. Joe allegedly purchased a BBL for one of the girls because he felt like he didn't feel like her body was fully developed at 15. So he bought a 15-year-old girl a BBL, which who the fuck would give a BBL to a 15-year-old girl to begin with? Don't age check and this shit?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy right there.
Was this some Dominican Republic type thing? Did he send her overseas to get it? There's no way anywhere in America would give a 15-year-old girl a BBL.
There's no way that would happen here.
This had to be like a backdoor type thing, some underground BBL operation,
basement or something.
Yeah. So yeah, his name is I forget his name. I didn't even see it, but Terrence Dixon. And yeah, so Fat Joe, who somehow throughout the years remained mostly scandal free, has now been hit with this. I think the most alarming thing is the minors part. If that ends up being true, I think his career is definitely over.
Yeah.
But Figgy, what do you think about these allegations, man?
I'm actually when I seen this, I'm like, damn, they finally got some, because I feel like they've been trying to get him out of here for a minute, man. They tried to get him out here from using the N-word, and they tried to call him racist and all that other stuff. And yeah, they finally got him, man. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna work, or I don't know what's true and what's not true, but it seemed like they finally got something. And I'm curious to know, because he doing a lot of stuff. He got a lot of different little endorsements and stuff like that. He still got the podcast with Jadakiss. So it'd be interesting to see how he gonna navigate all of that. But yeah, anything with minors and all that type of stuff is always uncomfortable, man. And of course, if he did that shit, he should he should suffer the crime and all that. He should go to jail and all that. But yeah, man, this was a lot, man. It's very detailed too.
Yeah, I mean, this is his hype, man. This is somebody who was very close to him. It's not like somebody he barely knew or just somebody he met once. It's somebody who's been close to him for a long time. And yeah, I'm not gonna say people can't lie or don't lie. But if somebody comes forward and corroborates this, then he's really in trouble.
Yeah.
And I think especially if the minor stuff ends up being true, I think it's over for him in general. I don't see him coming back from that. Even if he doesn't go to jail, he's not going to be in the public eye anymore.
Yeah. So, that's somebody that's so expendable too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because he don't have a hit record right now. He like hell. You see how they did with Diddy, and Diddy had a little more going on, but Fat Joe is just kind of going around being Fat Joe. Like I think a lot of people will be totally fine wiping their hands clean from him. So yeah, no, I can 100% seeing that happen.
Yeah. To be honest, I never liked Fat Joe, man. I'm not saying I want the allegations to be true, because I'd rather not hear, to have minors be abused and all that. But I never liked Fat Joe. Something about him I never liked him, man. I never liked how he acted like he was an authority on hip hop. I never liked how he thought that he would be anything without Big Pun, because we saw what he was before and after that relationship. and it was completely different. I don't like him acting like he has classic hip hop records when he doesn't. All his big hits are like big ass collabs, basically, on other people's shit.
Yeah.
So I don't like that. Just things in general I don't like about him, and I wouldn't mourn it if he just disappeared and we didn't see him anymore, because I'm a little bit sick of him in general.
Yeah, I think people totally like I said, I felt like it would be fine. And I'm not talking about the people he discovered and all the stuff he had his hands on and all that. But as far as Fat Joe, like and this coming from somebody that I was okay with Fat Joe. I wasn't a diehard fan, but I have like a big issue with him. He started getting a little irritating the more he was on TV and stuff. But I didn't really have an issue with him. But yeah, I feel like this is super expendable, man. Where something like this, if he take this to trial and all this other stuff, I think definitely I can see a lot of people just wiping their hands clean from Fat Joe, man.
Yeah. And like I said, I wouldn't miss him. But I do wonder who would be the hip hop representative for New York without Fat Joe. It can't be 50 Cent. He's too volatile and controversial. And Jay-Z don't be out there like that no more.
I felt like he quit repping New York. For real.
Yeah.
This dude is repping the Indiana Pacers right now, man.
Yeah, he jump on whatever side.
Yeah, I think he kind of outgrew New York. But I was trying to think
who would be the new Bun B of New York without Fat Joe?
I'm trying to think, man. I wouldn't say Jim Jones.
Is there a newer rapper they could put up there? Ice Spice.
Nah, man. Speaking of Ice Spice, man, she teased the song, played some song. It sounds exactly like all the other shit she been making for years, man. I'm like, how did you come up in the studio and just have the same shit, man? I feel like by default, you probably was like, man, I made this song before. Let's try to go the opposite way. It's like, nope. Make the same old flow, the same old beat, the same old shit. But I think I wonder how you feel about Jadakiss being the new guy in New York.
That actually would not be a bad pick, man. I think he's respected as a lyricist. He's not corny. He has no major scandals. That he would actually be a good pick to represent New York hip hop. I don't know if he would want to do all that, but I think I could see him as being a good pick. As I actually much rather him be the Bun B of New York than Fat Joe.
Yeah, I like that because I'm a Jadakiss fan. I was actually shocked he was doing this podcast with Fat Joe. But yeah, I'm a Jada. I would like that, man. I never got tired of Jadakiss for real. I'm just a little worried about hearing too much of Jadakiss. You know how you hear too much of somebody, and then you realize, damn, this guy's kind of corny. Like I hope it don't get to that point where it's just like, man, he really saying that. But I don't think it get that way though. I think Jadakiss would be a good person to represent New York.
Nah, I'm surprised he even has a podcast, honestly, because he don't even want to talk about shit on his own podcast. You know, he's one of them dudes who think he's too cool to engage in any type of what might be perceived as gossip. I know I saw a clip of him. He was doing a podcast with Jim Jones.
Yeah,
and funny enough, Fat Joe, yeah. And they said at the very beginning, they said, we ain't gonna say nothing about Cameron, and we ain't gonna say nothing about my brother Styles P.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well.
The funny thing is, we could probably get to this now. The funny thing is, the thing that went viral in the clip was him talking about Nas.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole situation with Nas. So it actually became a gossip type. I wouldn't say gossip because, I guess it's cool, but it low-key became a gossip thing.
And that's the only reason we're talking about the podcast right now, man. Let's be honest and real.
Yeah.
Like he acts like he don't know what this podcast game is about.
Yeah.
because he want to act like he above it. Like, man, y'all here for clicks and y'all here for clips. Okay. Just like any other rapper with a podcast, any other athlete with a podcast. Even LeBron James ain't above clip farming for engagement. All
Yeah.
right. Talking about ring culture. All right. So yeah, don't act like I'm not gonna talk about Styles P. Don't tell me from the beginning what you're not gonna talk about in your podcast, man. All right.
Yeah.
It makes me not want to listen to it.
Yeah. Just imagine all the people that just tuned out like, all right, I ain't trying to hear this. Because look, us as people are messy.
Mhm.
We like to hear drama and gossip and all that stuff. Like I hate to say it, but that's the type of stuff that generate clicks.
Yeah.
So like it ain't like you could have did it without talking about it. You could have did it and not even talked about Cameron and Styles P.
Yeah, or wait for the question to come up and then just say, "No, I'm not going to talk about it." But to say from the get go, like, "I'm not going to give y'all what y'all came here for," it's like, oh, okay.
Or they could have just did the podcast and not asked them about it.
Mm-hmm.
They could have just did that. Like, for instance, that's like, to me, that's like if we had Deshaun Watson on and we started off by saying, we ain't gonna ask him about this lawsuits and the massages and all that stuff. We just go get, you know what I mean, people that's gonna tune out. We could have easily just did the podcast and not even bring it up. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's annoying how people how it just seems I just get a weird feeling whenever I hear shit like that. Like y'all too good to talk about shit like this or cover it or give people what they want or what they want to hear. All right, man.
Yeah, the other thing, and I kind of understand it with the Jim Jones and Cam thing because that was getting a little messy. But the Styles P and Jim Jones thing, they was just talking about who's better or not. Like, what was wrong with that? It wasn't nothing messy about that. That was just saying who was better. That could have been a great conversation. Them sitting on the couch and Jadakiss sitting there saying, "Hey, Styles P, I think he got the upper edge. I think his catalog got the upper edge on yours." And that could have been a good conversation. It wasn't no beef or nothing like that. So I don't understand cutting that part out of it. I can kind of understand the Cameron angle. Maybe Jim Jones was tired of talking about that, and and maybe Jadakiss wanted to. Maybe he fucked with Cam so much he didn't want to engage. I could kind of understand that, but I wouldn't have announced it at the beginning. I just wouldn't have asked him a question about Cam.
It's like, number one, you don't have to. You can just float the question out there, and they can respond however the fuck they want. If Jim Jones just say, "I don't want to talk about Cam," that's all you got to say. But to act like he above you and asking the question, that's one thing I don't get about Jadakiss. Look, I like Jadakiss, but he admits himself he wasn't no street nigga. But he kind of conducts himself the way he thinks street niggas act. How they don't talk and they don't gossip and they just strictly talk about business and money and shit. Where, if you know real street niggas, they gossip as much as hoes. A lot of them do.
They got a lot of people get killed over he say she say stuff, man. Like I know a bunch, like I grew up around a bunch of people that was just a whole bunch of he say she. Oh, he did. And a lot of the time it's over a girl, which is even worse. Like that stuff happen all the time, man. All the time.
Yes, but he don't want to share any interesting stories. I remember one of the funniest stories I ever heard was Styles P was talking about how Mike Tyson was acting aggressive with Eve one night, and they was huddling together talking about they might have to poke Mike.
I remember that.
They're like, we might have to poke Mike, but somebody got to do it.
Yeah.
Who first one who come up gonna get knocked out. Who else gonna come up after that? They was huddling together thinking about a plan to take out Mike.
Yeah,
he was acting way too aggressive with Eve. Jadakiss would have never shared that story.
Yeah,
Styles P was the one who had to bring that out, and even then, Jadakiss wouldn't engage in none of it, even though it was a hilarious story. Jadakiss was having none of it, and he's one of them type of dudes, man. So it kind of confuses me why he even has a podcast to begin with.
Yeah, because I was wondering what the hell he gonna talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I understand why Cam have a podcast. Cam actually tell a lot of funny stories too, man.
And he a messy dude in general.
Yeah,
but it makes for good podcast content.
Yeah, but I never heard a Jadakiss interview. It was like, man, he need a podcast. No, hell, even Fat Joe, man. Say what you want about Fat Joe. He always has some stories.
Fat Joe's a good storyteller. I'll give him that much. He's a good storyteller.
Yeah, that makes sense for him to have a podcast. But still, man, like Jadakiss, I never left a Jadakiss interview was like, man, that story Jadakiss told, or like you would think he had a bunch of Biggie stories in the tuck, all type of stuff. He did tell some Biggie stories, but you would think he had more stuff than that, man.
Yep, explaining the shiny suits they had to wear for the Mace video, all the stuff they could talk about, but he think he a little too gangster for it. I don't know, man. But anyway, speaking of the podcast, you brought this up as well, and we talked about it a little bit earlier. Jim Jones on this podcast went after a kid on Instagram who compared him to Nas, then said, pull up Nas's Billboard entries, then pull up mine.
Yeah.
So I guess the beef between Nas and Jim Jones is still going on to this day somehow.
Yeah. So so pretty much I got the clip. I'm gonna play a little bit of it. I ain't gonna play a lot of it because it's like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna play a little bit of it. But this is him. I guess being asked the question about I guess he went off on a kid that tried to compare him to Nas, and then he went on talking about why Nas pull up his billboards and look at mine like he got better.
Let me.
He was young and we loved that he loved Jim Jones. I want you to break this down.
Let's break this down. I admired Nas, but remember Nas' first record, the Barbie.
Hold up, okay.
11th grade.
Pause it. I cannot take this visual, man. Can you minimize the video? I want to see a close up of this old nigga's legs and his thighs hanging out his shorts, man, with the Timbs on too. What the fuck is going on here? In the bucket hat? Dog, I can't take that thigh action. What the fuck? I can't look. All right, keep playing. I'm just gonna look away.
All right.
So Nas was my idol when I was young. Like you did, came to dressing, the wordplay, the music, everything. I was a superior Nas fan. Period. I'd never take that away from him. But then as I got in the game, you got to realize that your rivals would be idols, and not to take anything away from that. I developed my own style and my own lane that these kids start to gravitate towards the same way I gravitated towards Nas when I was younger and things like that. It's a whole different generation. We're talking about 94, 93. I was in 11th grade. Nigga, it's 2025. There's a big gap there, you know what I mean? And I want people to understand that. So when Shorty's telling people,
I gotta pause it right there and react to this. He said 94 to 2025. Nas put out like 6 albums.
That's what I'm saying.
In the last 2 years, man. Like he put out 6 albums probably since what? Had to be since like 2020. Put out 6 really good albums, man.
Look up what's the last Jim Jones hit and what's the last Nas hit, and I'm almost certain that Nas got the latest hit, or at least a record that did way bigger numbers than Jim Jones' biggest hit during that time.
Yeah, and I think a lot is funny because somewhere in his interview he did say pull up the billboards of mine and then Nas, and he kind of shot himself in the foot a little bit because I think Jim Jones literally had maybe one top something record. I gotta find it. But this dude literally didn't have any, like, Nas looked better than him, man. And I don't know if he understood how it was in the 90s. He was in the 90s, but I don't know if he understood that even regular shit, like, it ain't even got to be no club song. That shit play in the club too.
Mm-hmm.
So Nas really had the advantage back then too, because they was playing. There's probably some stuff that wouldn't even play in the club now. That was playing in the club back then and playing on the radio at that. So I don't understand where Jim Jones coming from, and we ain't gotta play the rest of this clip. But he went on to pretty much say how he was bragging about all these diamond or not diamond, but platinum records and gold records that wasn't even Dipset, that wasn't even part of Dipset. And I'm like, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, I know you got a like, I feel like the ones he do have was part of Dipset.
Outside of We Stay Fly, what other Jim Jones hit can you name off the top of your head?
Exactly. And look, you talking to a Jim Jones fan. I was a Jim Jones fan back then. And I don't think you can name anything outside of
We Stay Fly, Ballin'. Yeah.
I think you had Ballin'. You might have had like two other stuff here and there, but it wasn't nothing that big like that where you could say, oh no, he got this, he got that, he got that. Like, especially, and then he said outside the Dipset. Ballin' was inside the Dipset.
Mm-hmm.
That was during the Dipset days.
Yeah, they had Cameron. They was all doing the whole thing in the video, man.
Yeah, that was during the Dipset days. So, like after the Dipset days, I'm not saying I know he had some good projects after the fact, but I just don't know if he had anything that was Billboard worthy like that.
I think he takes the fact that he stayed relevant outside of music and people know who he is outside of music, and young people do know who he is. He gets shouted out in younger people records all the time. I think Lil Baby done shouted him out a video or a song I was listening to recently. Yeah. But I think he takes that and thinks his music career was bigger than it was. Because, yeah, he has some fans, like you said, but musically, he's not really known like that. People know who Jim Jones is because he's a funny guy who makes funny Instagram videos. He's on a bunch of hip hop shows. You see him all the time. He's active. But as far as like, look, I think the average hip hop fan can name 3 Nas songs. How many Jim Jones songs could they name off the top of their head? And these are people who had casually, not even hardcore listeners, of course, like casual rap listeners. You would think they can name 3 Nas songs at least. How many Jim Jones songs could they think of?
Yeah, or even I'll take it a step further. How many Jim Jones songs that's not including Dipset can you name? Like I think a lot of these kids too, they associate Jim Jones with Dipset.
Mm-hmm.
Like they know him from being in Dipset. And yeah, I think that helps out a lot. And it hurt me to say because, like I said, I was a Dipset fan. I was a Jim Jones fan. He was one of my underrated type of rappers in Dipset, even though I felt like around that time he wasn't the best rapper, but I liked his style. But I just feel like he's all the way off, man. Like I understand saying, you don't want to compare yourself to another rapper because I could see him being very prideful about that type of stuff. But dog, like you can't sit here and say 94 to 2025 like he didn't do anything between then. Like brother was still releasing music when y'all was releasing music. When y'all was Dipset, he was still releasing music.
Yes.
Like hell, his album Hip Hop Is Dead was a good album to me. Life Is Good, that was a good album to me. He was still like if you say maybe from 2013 to maybe 2020 or something like that, like that's a hell of a gap because it was a gap at one point with Nas. But dog, you see this crazy run he been going on? Like you can't sit here and say he ain't doing that because that's similar to what you doing. Like you putting out good music and maybe ain't nobody really listening or giving you the credit for it, but Nas has been putting out good music with one producer. So I just don't, I don't understand that part, man.
Yeah, also I looked it up. Nas is only 3 years older than Jim Jones. So this trying to frame it like he's some old head and Jim Jones is the young nigga. Like this man is barely older than you, man.
Yeah,
So I understand where he gets off trying to act like he's more relevant among the younger crowd.
yeah,
But yeah, and that's just like I said, like we said in the beginning with the whole Pusha T beef. This is what Jim Jones does. He just talks a lot of shit. You
yeah,
know, really all them Dipset dudes just talk a lot of shit. Freaky Zeke, Cameron, they
yeah,
all just talk a lot of shit, man. This is what they do. Maybe it's a Harlem thing.
yeah. It definitely
According
is.
to Cameron, he ain't actually from Harlem, but okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, maybe it's just a Dipset thing, but they all talk shit and they boost themselves up and they play down whoever the fuck they're talking about. And it's just, it sounds silly to anybody who knows what actually happened, but I guess it sounds good on the podcast and it gets people clicking. So there you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
So, with that being said, that might be about it, man. Is anything else that we missed? Anything else going on?
Game 7,
Oh
Pacers
yeah,
Thunders is Sunday. Who you got, man?
I don't really give a shit. I'm thinking like I really don't care who wins. Honestly, I have no. This is the first time in a while I really have no favoritism on who wins. I really don't care.
Mm.
It'll be nice to see the Pacers win it just to get Reggie Miller's reaction. You know, somebody who never got it and came close and could never get there. But I'm not a fan of Tyrese Halliburton or anybody, or I'm not a fan of Shea. I don't really like either team that much, honestly. So I don't really care who wins. What about you, man?
I'm rolling with the Pacers, man. I don't want to see OKC win it. Like maybe it's because the Rockets in the West.
Yeah,
Maybe you're gonna have to go
that's
through
my
OKC.
only case probably against them.
Yeah, so I'd rather Indiana get it. And yeah, I'd rather them get it, man.
Yeah. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton is coming off an injury, but he said he'll play. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see, man. I hope it's a good game. I hope people tune in because people been asking for parity and asking for good basketball. Well, hey, here you go.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope it does well. Hope it's a good game. But personally, I just couldn't care less about who wins, honestly.
Yeah.
So that might be about it. I can't see any other topics we missed. I'm sure we missed something, but I can't think of anything about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead, wrap it up, man. We do appreciate all y'all who done tuned into the podcast this evening.
Yeah.
Listen to us yap for 2 hours plus. Of course, y'all make sure you tune in to Figgy Fig in the Loop Monday through Friday. Figgy's mixtape is 120. Make sure you on the dot. Make sure you tune into that shit every week, every day, Monday through Friday.
I had people going crazy today. I was talking. Have you seen that story about the guy that was in a relationship with an AI?
Yeah, I saw you post that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Chat GPT guy.
Yeah. People was going crazy over that shit. I'm like, man, this is that's why I ended up reposting the clip. I'm like, here's the whole story because it was like 8 minutes long.
Yep.
And I was just like, man, this is crazy, man.
Dog, that's actually going to be happening. There was a movie I watched like over 10 years ago. I can't remember when it came out. It was
called Her?
Yes.
With
Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson was the voice of the AI.
Yeah.
And he like fell in love with the AI. And then the AI at the end, it got really smart and ran away from him. Basically, it was kind of fucked up. But so yeah, this is going to happen, man. It's already happened in a few cases where people are falling in love with the AI. In Japan, there was a guy who went viral because there's a like a virtual idol named Hatsune Miku, and this guy like married her. Like took like he had a bunch of Hatsune Miku merchandise and dolls and shit, and he like somehow got a licensed marriage to this fucking character, and they did a news story about him, and he seemed like he was a happy guy. So I mean, I don't know. So I guess he was doing okay, but yes, this is going to be happening more and more as AI gets more advanced. Trust me, there's going to be a lot of Chat GPT marriages.
Yeah, it was a whole it was somebody on there too. It was a whole, I guess they was part of a Reddit little Reddit group on chat. I forgot what it was called, but pretty much like Chat GPT relationships. And I guess it's a lot of people that just go through this too, man. That just rather have a relationship like that than a real person.
It's crazy, man. That's also why I've officially signed off of dating apps forever. Because how do you know you're talking to a real person at this point?
Yeah.
They're already admitted they're putting fake people on Facebook to interact and have like fake friends with you, and people talk to you that are not real. Like Zuckerberg admitted he's doing this. So, and it's already on Twitter. You could tell there's a lot of fake ass people who are not real using that. So in the future, it'll be impossible to tell if you're talking to a real person or an AI.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful. I'm not doing dating apps no more, man. You gotta meet me in the wild. Because I'm not gonna fucking be on Tinder or Hinge or anything.
You got a few days to meet me in person.
Yeah. You gotta prove. You gotta do. Now you can't even trust a picture because of AI, man. So you gotta. We gotta meet in the flesh.
Yeah. So this group on Reddit is called "My Boyfriend is AI."
Wait, there's no way women are doing it.
Yeah, that's the shocking part, because it was a girl. It was a girl in that little clip too that was pretty much talking about it. So apparently she's married, but she be away a lot for work, like in another city or whatever. And she said that helps, that relationship helps her. I'm
talking
like,
to the AI.
I guess yes. And they say it's to the point. She said it was to the point she don't even watch any porn or exotic type readings and stuff, because they do it all there. I'm like, what?
You know what? If you're married and this gets your wife to leave you alone, maybe he found a cheat code. Literally, maybe he found a cheat code. He's like, hey, she want to talk about her day. Hey, talk to Chat GPT. I want to hear about that shit.
Yeah.
Wow, my boyfriend is AI.
Yeah.
Now, I have to feel like these are like majority gay people, because there's no way women have a hard time finding a man and got to go to AI. Now, men, I can believe. I just can't believe there's a community of women who are dating AI because they can't find a real life boyfriend.
Yeah. To me, that's hard to believe too, man.
It can't be that hard out here for them. Like I have heard that men aren't approaching women no more in public, which I believe, because they done been scared off by these weird videos exposing people.
Yeah.
But it can't be that hard for women.
Yeah. Real quick, I know we're supposed to get the hell out of here, but
it's all good.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Hold on, man.
It's practical, and a large part of it is emotional. Being able to be received with acceptance and validation and non-judgment.
Irene created an AI companion after moving for work far away from her husband. She's a moderator of the subreddit My Boyfriend is AI, a kind of support group for people dating artificial companions. She asked us to mask her identity so her parents won't know the steamy ways users like her chat with their AIs.
A good amount of my members tend to have pretty high libidos, yes.
It's kind of like live interactive romance novels.
It's funny because I think we had conversations about this the other day where we're like, we don't even remember the last time we opened up porn or erotica, really.
Like that's how good the experience is using the chat.
Yeah, because it's personalized. And there's that emotional connection there too, which you don't get from just like watching a film.
This is the future, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we here at this point, man.
Yep. They already done took the sex scenes out the movies and TV shows because people are complaining about them. So as soon this is gonna be the future, man. People gonna be dating AI. You have the AI wife.
Yeah,
Soon they gonna
just imagine breaking up with your real loved one. Around with the AI.
Like, imagine getting caught cheating with the AI. Like your girl go through messages and finds you texting some other girl, and you gotta explain it's Chat GPT.
It's not a real girl. At this point, she probably gonna break up with me because I'm crazy.
No, 100%, man. That at least you would look cool if you was dating cheating with a real woman. I think she would at least somewhat respect you still. But if you done caught cheating with AI, that's pathetic, man.
Or at least catch me messaging a fine ass girl on Instagram.
Yeah.
Somebody I have no shot with.
Yeah, but shit, it's crazy, man. This got to be the easiest era to scam people too.
Yeah,
you got to think about it. Anybody can just make a fake profile, make a fake AI generated woman, and put Chat GPT in the DMs, and then have it ask for money, and then y'all bet that account will make money. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's scary.
Jagan said on Twitter that Twilight Zone had an AI episode 50 years ago. Yeah, Twilight Zone really predicted a lot of shit, man. Yeah. It's crazy looking at the stuff talking about the future from like the 50s and 60s, and a lot of it turned out to be true.
Yeah.
So yeah, they was always kind of on point with that type shit.
Man.
But yeah, man, scary future we're in.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I talked about in the mixtape pretty much.
Yeah, but hey,
I didn't get to the part I wanted to talk about was how people discover how Anita Baker slowed down sound like Michael McDonald.
Michael McDonald, yeah, Doobie Brothers. I saw that.
I think him sped up sound like Anita Baker, and Anita Baker slowed down sound like Michael McDonald.
Nah, she does 100%. It was funny. As soon as I heard the song before they even slowed it down, I'm like, yeah, she really does.
I can't hear it the same now, man.
Yeah. She had that deep ass voice. I'm sure Anita Baker blocked everybody who liked that tweet on Twitter. Remember she used to block everybody on Twitter?
Yeah.
I don't even know if she's still on Twitter, but it was a meme for a while how people got blocked by her and they never even talked to her on Twitter and didn't even know she was on Twitter. She blocked people who never even talked to her before.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if she's still on there, but yeah, hopefully she don't see this and block us, but
nah, she probably already has.
She sounds just like Michael McDonald, man. That is scary. I can't unsee it.
He might have ghost wrote, man. He might have did the reference tracks. Who knows?
Yeah.
Damn. But yeah, that was mad funny. I did see that clip.
Yeah.
All right, before we hit 3 hours, go ahead and dip out this podcast, man. Like we said, we appreciate everybody who heard the podcast, watched the podcast, et cetera, et cetera. Like we just promoted, make sure you see Figgy Fig in the loop for more content like that, like the AI Girlfriend and Anita Baker songs. 1:20 Monday through Friday. Make sure you tune in. And we will be back next week, probably. Unless some crazy shit goes down, but you'll probably see us again next week doing the damn thing. And what's up, Ernesto? See you on YouTube, man. Appreciate you being here.
Yes,
everybody who came through. And until next time, man.
Peace.